Yeah, that's quick. Hello, I'm Eagle. Eagle Gardens. Eagle Gardens 1 on Instagram. And this is the wormhole. What's up, Smiley? How you doing?
Good, man. Just fucking talking shit with Eagle in the wormhole, man. Monday night.
Man, it seems like it's been forever since I've got to chat with you.
Yeah, that's been a few days. It's good, man. You had a good weekend?
I think so. I think so. Fucking
That's
days go
good, man.
by
That's
so
all that matters.
fast anymore, man.
Good,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, you're right. As long as there isn't no bad notes there, I guess it was all good, right?
Yes, sir. That's the way it goes. I'm rolling up some Skywalker right now. Well, I'm gonna bring up chat a minute.
What I'm doing as well. Robert Hazelton, GMO, what's up? Just Stevenson, what's up? Joe Y, Jason Stone, CJ Apple, Dave Blaze Daily, what's up, guys? What's up, Jeff? All right, now I need my tray. Definitely need my tray.
I'm all muted. Hell yeah, man.
Man, I was so close to finishing my tile job today. Square feet. I fucking was grouting today. They bought one bag of grout, and I stretched that shit just as far as I could fucking stretch it. And I know that shit's special order. I know that shit's special order.
Yeah, that's not fun, man. Special
No,
order.
everything's been special so far. Well, I don't, and that's a shitty term, to be honest with you, because what was common stock 2 years ago is now special order because nobody you really shelves anything anymore. They have it in their catalog, but they can order it for you. But technically, almost anything you look at in that market's almost special order anymore because nobody's sitting on a mountain of inventory.
That's wild.
I did take a
Yeah, the
little
game
video. You want to
changes.
see?
What's that?
Ah, I did take a little video. You want to see?
Yeah, sure.
I had to show it to you on my phone. I don't think. The stupid Samsung, man. This is a 20 that this is the one I like the best anyway. And so this thing's been a great phone, other than at one point it fucking it just stopped working, or at one point it just started just telling me that the charger wouldn't work. It was wet, and it never got wet. And for like the longest time, it was like that. I bought a wireless charger and said, fuck it. Just started charging it wirelessly. One time after an update, it started working again. Now, out of the blue, I can't plug it in anymore. Same fucking thing. I should have taken it. I think it's on my other phone. The fucking, the before, which was before. So if you could see that terribly, man, when I ripped that out and that window had a leak, that fucking wall was gone. Gone, Smiley. Here, let me turn off this light. You probably don't see it. There you go. There you go. You can see it. That wall was gone. So I went back in. I fucking sistered some studs up, secured that wall up as best as I could before I closed her back up. Of course. Of course. Re-insulated everything. Good.
Very
Personal
nice.
dude. And then here you go. That's when I left today, if you can see that.
Oh yeah. That's the window in the shower. That is a weird window.
Yeah.
Cool, man. It's a project. I got to do something similar. I got to redo my shower bathroom area. That'll be a
Never
fun
fun.
one. No, it's the only
Second
bathroom in the
most
house.
expensive. Second most expensive room in the house, right there, the bathroom.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Kitchen's first.
Huh. Suppose that's where all your shit's at, right?
Cabinets can be quite expensive. 420 says to a factory said you've been hacked. I bet I've been hacked, to be honest with you. I'm throwing up some primal punch, and of course I'm throwing in some bubble.
Yeah.
Bubble in there.
You still got quite a bit left of the bubble, or what?
I'm getting down to the teeth in the jar. It was full.
That was only like a week ago, though, wasn't it? Or was that 2 weeks?
Seems
now?
like. No, that was the last time I made hash. That was a minute ago.
Was
I
it?
remember when it was, to be honest.
Huh.
See, time blows by, man. Chat, crazy. Cheers, everybody in chat.
Yeah.
Rolling, I ain't doing
All
any
distracted, rolling
hellos.
joints and shit.
Yeah, right. Like get on the end, just roll some joints.
You know, it's my pastimes. What do you do?
That'd be a good morning show right there, basically. The morning wake and bake, just sit there and just roll up the daily fucking 20 joints and fucking, hey guys, I'm out.
I don't sit and roll them all at once. I just do it as I get time, and like I just fill my grinder, and it's like 4 or 5 joints. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, if I want a couple different kinds, I'll end up with 10 joints. And you know, what's up, Bingus?
That's a good day.
Thought I'd jump on, say hi to y'all. How you doing?
Good, man. Have a good weekend.
Oh yeah, busy all the time. Trying to improve my garden. Got the new light in, and that was kind of an ordeal hanging it, but had to rehang my brackets and just your standard stuff that you think is going to be easy, and then all right, get the tool belt on. Let's fucking go to work.
Now you gotta buy a light meter so you can set the right height on your LED light.
Exactly. Cheers, chat. How you doing? Thanks for joining, everybody, and saying hi to me. Appreciate it. Hi. How you doing, Eagle?
I'd be better if I would talk to you unmuted.
I'm getting
Other
good.
than that, I'm doing pretty good.
You can get good at reading lips on the Eagle channel.
It helps. It helps.
Right on. Yeah.
So what conspiracy are we going to talk about today, Bingus?
No, man, come on. Don't get me started.
No, that's what I was trying to do.
I know. No, man, I don't know. I have nothing to say, really. I mean, it's still there. Things are still kind of strange out there in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm just staying in the garden and staying busy, really. That's what I try to do. Is I don't give myself time to wander too far into the rabbit hole. The wormhole is good enough, So,
yeah.
I think it's pretty.
But yeah, it's fun. keep growing cannabis. Had some good guests lately. Always enjoy sitting back, trimming, and listening. And
So I didn't say anything last night. I think it was what? I think it was during the wormhole that we had a past guest pop back in yesterday and was being somewhat polite. But the mystery episode guest was in chat last night. I was actually staggered by it a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. Really?
That's cool though. That's
Really?
really cool, I think.
I hold no grudges with anybody. I mean, dude, I've made so many mistakes in my life. And people have held grudges against me. And it's just really not worth doing. You know, that type of energy is nothing but detrimental to your health. And things happen, in my opinion, for a reason. Okay. And determining what that might be is all the fun, really. I mean, I learn every day by screwing shit up. If I'm not screwing shit up, I'm really not doing anything. And like I said, hanging that light should have been easy if I would have thought it out. But no, I want to rush it, get it done, you know. So shortcuts never work. Right? Might as well just do it right the first time. So I did. Took all day, sat down, smoked a couple bowls, mapped it out on paper, like it was some huge project, right? Which it isn't. But it sure went a lot smoother. You know what I mean? When you do that kind of stuff. What tools am I going to need? What I need? What do I got to move? Where's my level? You know, shit like that. There's nothing worse than getting into a project and you need a tool and you can't remember where the fuck you put it. You know,
Man, that happened yesterday? I grabbed a fucking tote that had several saws, grout tools, because I've been like fucking working on a couple vehicles, seems like now. And so I grabbed the bag out of one. I'm like, there's the diamond 1.25" hole saw bit I'm gonna fucking need. That's the only reason I grabbed the bag. I drive around the fucking lake. That's like fucking 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I get round the shower to the faucet there and go to fucking drill a hole and I emptied the bag out on the ground, basically. I'm like, I know I seen that son of a bitch in there. And at that point, it was actually cheaper to just go buy one than it was to, take the half hour or 40 minutes and head back home to try to dig through my shit to find the bed. It was just cheaper to go buy one at that point. You know what I mean? Yeah, it can be irritating.
I have many replicate tools at times, especially the small ones. And I find them, like I buy a new one, like I'll lose one, buy a new one, then come home and find the old one. Like, what the fuck, you know? Just stupid human stuff. Stoner stuff.
You always find the old one after you bought the new one, though.
Always.
It doesn't matter how long you look before you buy the new one. You will find that motherfucker after you bought it. Yeah. That's Murphy right there. That's funny.
So that's fine. I think when you grow cannabis, you almost have to be somewhat of a do-it-yourselfer, or at least inclined to tinker with shit a little bit.
Hey, you gotta be a plumber, HVAC guy, a carpenter, electrician.
Let alone know how to put water in a pot plant. You know, I mean, it's great. People say
lighting expert, soil biological expert, a fucking botanist, a horticulturalist, an
agronomist. Right? That was a good word I learned.
Yeah, and then a drying expert, a fucking curing expert, a trimming expert, and then the best salesman around.
Yeah, you have to learn how to make videos about it all. What the fuck?
Right.
It's like you're a studio photographer as well. It's interesting. Definitely keeps things going. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Spread pretty thin.
Yeah.
Oh, those spaces. Smiley, I think you're gonna be proud of me. I might actually hand the Tahoe over. I was gonna fix it myself, but if I fix it myself, I'm only gonna do that one fucking line. I'm only gonna do the one line.
Got to do them right, man. Brake lines suck.
I know.
To get them right. Come
I
on.
talked to a cat today. I knew everything he was telling me. He's like, "You're gonna change that line, and then the other ones are gonna blow." I'm like, "I know. You're probably right." As soon as I pump them up, they're probably. He's like, "Bring it in. I'll get the kit, man. Everything will be stainless steel. $500. 350 to 5. So if you can stay closer to 350, you get a pretty good deal. I'm in. I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah, actually.
You know what I got to say about cars? Car Wars, the continuing saga. It just never ends. Especially when I buy throwaway models. I don't buy new cars. And I run them till the wheels fall off. Then I sign the title and leave them on the side of the road somewhere.
That's shit.
I don't do that actually, but I have a 2004 or 5, I don't know, Honda Accord. Runs great. Looks a little, it's not a flashy car. Kind of needs a paint job, you know. But shit. Like to find me a like an older 4-cylinder pickup, little run around pickup truck. Used to be able to pick those up for like $1,000. Now they're nowhere near that.
No. I know, I was looking at trucks too. It's insane what they get for them damn things. Like brand new ones, yeah, 65, 70 grand on some of that shit. I was like, what?
I'm not buying a house here. I mean, come on.
Right.
So I don't know. But then again, everything's delivered. So fuck it. That's why I weaseled out of that one.
Getting it delivered?
Well, like I used to go to Lowe's in some places. Like I'd go to Lowe's and buy perlite, for example. And fucking ordeal, especially nowadays. They don't know. Half the people don't know where things are. I mean, it's crazy. Then I wipe them out, and then they get pissy with me. I'm like, oh, you took all the perlite. I'm like, isn't that the idea? You know what I mean?
Right.
And so now I just order it online, and they deliver it for free. So I used to order like 20, 30 bags. Now they're like, now you can only order 10. So now I ordered 3 orders. It's like, what the fuck? You know, you're still sending me the same as, you know, but no, this order, you can only order 10. Okay.
Silly rules.
So I just place that order and I go right back and get another 10, place that order, get another 10, place. You know, you just make it a little harder for me. You're still doing the same job. All the boxes show up on the same day. So it's like, what the fuck? I don't know.
I was doing that with the peat moss through the True Value store, but they didn't even stock it, Bingus. They wouldn't stock. They didn't even stock it. So I was going online, and the price on it was like half of what you could find it for anywhere. I think it was like $18 or something for the big 3.8 cubic feet. And then it was free shipping to the store. Like you can find them for $20 online, but then they want to hit you another $30 to ship the fucker, you know? So it's still $50 for the bale, you know? So it's like, yeah, it was the score, but now ever since COVID, they're not doing that or whatever. Online it says not an option, no longer shipping to store or whatever. So apparently they didn't like that setup either.
You know, I don't know, man. Things are strange. You adjust. You know what I mean? You adjust your patterns, what you do, how you get stuff. It's funny. Anyway, how's your garden doing? I mean, I already seen how Smiley's. How about your garden? How your garden doing there, Eagle? I don't see any updates from
It's
you.
been pretty good. I don't update anymore. I don't do that
Right.
shit.
You don't spend enough time on YouTube, Eagle. You got to do more videos.
Get it? What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was getting ready to roll over to Biggest Smile. She's gonna go in the flower tonight as soon as I strap her down again.
Right on. Right on.
I think you'll be I think you'll be happy.
Dude, I'm happy. Anybody who grows my shit, I'm happy.
Right? He's got them in soil now too.
I love those buckets, man. Those are just like primo buckets. Look at that bush. Holy shit.
Yeah, no kidding.
Never
By the
seen
time I strap her down again,
Damn, that's
should be a good, good at least from tip to hit tip here should be, a good 32 to 36 inches.
that's great. Awesome.
As you can see, she's got a bunch of nice little
Yeah.
branches shooting up, so she's gonna bush right out. She's gonna be a nice looking girl.
Dude, it will bush to begin with, and so doing that, I'm loving it because nobody's ever done that to this particular strain, and it's a vigorous strain. So I'm hoping that it'll just be awesome. I'm smoking some Blue Mile right now. I'm kind of tired of it, I'll be honest, because I'm done pheno hunting. I picked the one. I was going to keep 3. No, I'm keeping 1, and I got a ton of seeds coming. I got too much shit going on, really. So I'm running more seeds now. And the DJ Short Blueberry, oh my goodness. Definitely going to be running more of that. Smiley's having a cough attack. Call the medic. Yeah, man. I love growing cannabis. I got the Face on Fire coming through. Or face off OG. I have some Face on Fire seeds as well that I'm going to pop. And the New York City
good.
Wow, what a beautiful plant that is. And I have one plant that is just marvelous. I'm hoping it's a female. It's a double white cheese. And man, just a gorilla. Unbelievable. So I'm very stoked with what I got going on. Just got to keep doing it. Stick with it. That really looks good though, Eagle.
Fucking beast, that Tiger King. Let's see if I can spin you around a little bit there. Where's my little?
Trying to
I had a little
back into my screen here, trying to look into your tent. Let me see if I can get a better look at it.
Let me see. I had a little lens around here yesterday. I don't know what the heck I did with it.
You okay, Smiley?
It's sitting right here. Too often, Smiley goes down.
We lost you.
And I'm talking on mute too.
There you go. All right, put your glasses on. There you are. Okay. Nice. Yeah, we thought you went down for the count for a second. It's okay.
Oh no, I just had to go take a leak and get a refill.
I thought you were having a coughing attack.
I was that too. I had to hack a loogie too.
Cough the pee right out of you. That's cool.
I did too. I'm getting that old now, Vegas.
I can testify to all those old man fucking problems.
Right.
Dude, when you get old, man, I was telling my son this today. My hands are shot, dude. I've used my hands in the trade so much that they're just shot. I mean, they really are. And my neck's screwed up, so I got nerve pain going down into my hands now. So I drop shit, right? And it just fucking really pisses me off, man. Because I was always really good with my hands, very good. Okay, tools, drop shit. I'll grab like The other day, I grabbed a carton of milk. It was a little bit moist. I'm like, fuck, right? Then what? Next step, clean up the mess, you know, and banging my shit, spending 4 hours in the garden or working, getting up and down, bending up and down. God, like I'm sore for 2 fucking days. You know, it's just like, what the hell, man? This vehicle is definitely wearing out. You know? So it's just not fun getting older. And I keep listening to some of this futuristic talk about the golden age and how we're going to have med beds that are going to be able to take 30 years off your life. And I'm like, fucking sign me up for that shit. You know, I mean, what do you need? Need weed? Need whatever? You know, you want my right arm? Okay, I'll give you an A arm just to take off 30 years. You know what I mean?
I don't know that I want to be 13 again, though, Bingus. I'm not going to sign up for that shit.
Dude, if you think about it and know what you know now at 13, are you kidding
me? Yeah. Me running that shit for sure.
You'll rule the world. Anyway, it's crazy. Getting old's not fun. It is not. This last year, I've noticed a big drop in my physical aspects of being human. It's fucked up. Just saying.
Happens to the best of us, though, man. Nobody gets
to all you motherfuckers.
Nobody's getting away from it, dude. That's the reality for all of us. Nobody's getting away from it.
Yeah, I bang my hand. I do just stupid shit that when you lose energy. My legs don't work like they used to. I used to be a great runner, good athlete. Now I fucking stumble around sometimes. I'm like, what the fuck? You know, I get on the treadmill to try to keep circulation to my legs and end up in this constant walk to nowhere. I mean, like you're just looking out the window. I should get a better treadmill with one of these programs, right, where it takes you actually takes you somewhere, even if it is virtual, you know. But cool. I bought a used treadmill.
I used to run on the treadmill every day. I was doing the 5K or whatever, like 3 miles or whatever it was, 3.5 miles. And I was, so yeah, it started out, it was almost an hour, and then fucking got it down to like 35, 40 minutes, something like that. I never broke under 30.
Man, that's moving, Smiley.
No, it was not, dude. It was
about 6 or 7, ain't it?
That's like a 6 or 7 mile, dude. It is not moving. It was moving for me, but it was not moving. I mean, there's guys running them in like 18 and shit.
It's a nice hustle. Well, yeah. But we're talking about just like extra, you know, that's a nice hustle for a good, you know, a daily run. And that, yeah, I've been on the treadmill for a while. Mine broke about a year ago. I never replaced it, but I was on that treadmill kick too, where I was running almost every day. I prefer it. I preferred the treadmill. I don't, and nothing against the people that run, but I didn't want to be. I'd rather bike, to be honest with you. You know, either ride a bike in the house or outside, either or. I prefer to bike. It's just easier on your joints.
I do have a bike,
but I just could never picture myself. I can run on the treadmill in home for whatever it takes. But I just can't picture myself with that runner's high, you know, passing people down the road. Hey, how you doing? Ah! Oh no, I can't see myself falling into that rut there. So it's always been treadmill.
You guys talk about running, I'm just talking walking. I don't run anywhere anymore. Okay. I don't even run to the bathroom if I can't make it. It's whoops. It's that kind of shit. But the bike is a better workout. I sometimes I don't like the noise that the treadmill makes at times. And it bothers one of my cats, Quentin. He's kind of sensitive. So if he's around, I'll get on the bike. Otherwise, he gives me dirty looks. That's how weird my fucking life is. I'm talking to 2 cats and taking care of cannabis plants pretty much 80% of my life right now.
peaceful. I actually tried the elliptical for a while, man. Fuck the elliptical. I tried that. I used that thing until it broke, and then I was like, yeah, I'm never getting on that fucking thing again.
Elliptical. What's elliptical?
Yeah, that's where you stand up and it's more like cross country skiing.
No, I don't. Sorry, I tried that once too.
You know what I'm talking about then.
I used to train hard, man, but I'm talking about lifting weights. I mean, not fucking walking on treadmills. I never used to do any of that. I used to play basketball and fucking that kind of shit to get my cardio. Now it's like I don't even carry an ounce of basketball. My hands have really gone to hell. It really pisses me off. I was a decent guitar player. I wouldn't say I was excellent, but I could play in a group, I could play. Now, man, I mean, I can play like 3 chords. It's about it. Can't do any leads, can't do really anything on the guitar, so I don't play it. It's like, fuck it. If you can't do something good, I mean, I'm kind of have that mindset where like, it's more of a frustration than it is a pleasure. Funny. My son is into that Pokemon Go game. You guys ever heard of that? It's a crazy game. I was watching it, and he's been doing it now for about a year, and he just made the top yesterday, right? I mean, and it was like he won the gold medal. I mean, he was really stoked about it, and but now he's like all alone at the top, and there's nobody to fucking play with it. And when you do get into a battle, I mean, it's guys like from Japan that are just fucking amazingly good. So it's tooth and nail. And I don't know, but he's an ex. He played poker for as a profession for 15 years, and he needs that constant, never-ending battle. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, wow. I kind of lost that. I don't really need that anymore. I don't need that battle.
So I just want to say something here in chat. There's how to grow is saying 4th week in flower in a living soil and has a nitrogen deficiency. The easiest way to address something like that would be like amino acid. Just saying, you water that right in, but boom, bada bing, nitrogeno. May have to do it a couple times, but I wouldn't go top dressing a ton of stuff on there at 4th week in flower, because all of a sudden about 7th, 8th week, it's all going to be available. So I would try to spoon feed it that way, so to speak.
420 asked me, did I have a whammy bar on my Gibson? No, I had a Les Paul custom. I had a Fender. I had a Ibanez with a whammy bar. I had all kinds of guitars, man, when I used to play. But I don't even own a guitar now. I'm kind of that way, man. I do something and I try to get it as good as I can. And then it's like, if I can't do it anymore, I'll just move on. Or even if I can, sometimes I'll just move on to something more challenging. And that's why growing cannabis for me is perfect, because you're never going to master anything. I mean, it's a constant lesson. And that just fucking keeps me going every day. The problem with poker is it's not a win-win. I played a lot of poker. We had to play poker at my house when I lived with my 2 oldest boys. It was like, all right, let's play. We had 2 tables, right? So it'd be like, all right, let's play for who does the dishes. That's actually how I got good at playing poker, because I got fucking tired of doing the dishes. So I read super systems and I started really studying the game. Of course, my son is shit. He's very good. So he would teach me. when he wasn't taking my fucking money. You know?
Yeah.
And but it's not a win-win. And so I just don't feel good about it. I mean, I don't mind playing nickel dime, that's fine. You know what I mean? But to get down and, I mean, when you're like playing, let's say for a $10,000, $20,000 pot, you can ruin someone's life. You know what I mean? And it's just not cool.
The line of thinking there is that they shouldn't have been playing at that table anyway.
Well, yeah, no, of course, but
but it does happen. You're right.
there's no way around it.
I will say one thing about poker. I don't want to play unless there's something at stake, though. You know what I mean? Being is people play different when there's fucking, you know what I mean? When there's meaningful money at stake, I should say. People play different than if it was just everybody threw in $5 and we got some fucking quarters we're throwing in to call. You know what I mean?
Tournaments too, it's different. I mean, it's boring. I like cash games primarily.
Me too.
And with people that I didn't know, hopefully.
Yep.
And I could be good. I played online a little bit, and you play tournaments and you buy in a tournament for $150 or something, and so that's all you're really losing. And it's just basically a fold match. You just fold until you get a playable hand, and hopefully you're in the right position to do something. It's pretty much anybody can win a tournament, really. But great. What's up, Red?
Howdy. What's going on?
What's up,
We're talking about poker?
Yeah.
Play poker?
I played for 8 years, man. Like seriously played for 8 years. And at the end of it was right before my divorce, and I literally won there were 6-week tournaments, and I never finished out of the top 3 out of any of the 6, and I won the seat to the World Series of Poker. I literally fucking come home to my ex going, I'm leaving you, fuck you need to get out the house, and here's divorce papers and shit. Like, I went from that high of winning it to like, holy shit. You know what I'm saying?
What did
Smiley?
What did you do?
I couldn't play after that. I was just fucking.
Yeah, that's
so.
Even in the book Superstitions, it says do not play if you're emotionally distraught. Do not play. Do not play when you're drinking. Do not play. It's got a whole list of things that I broke frequently.
Yeah.
What's funny about that is I would say most of the gambling addicts in Vegas are emotionally distressed.
Dude,
don't do it.
That is a great comedy line, dude. Think about that. You could turn that into a little. That's a great one, Red. Think about that. That's a good one. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. You could write a joke on that. So I'm forgetting. That was good.
Whatever book, that Astro Realm book that only exists, the jokes that I should have written down, there's an entire notebook of things that I should have written down. I think of it like they capitalize on it, right? Well, I screw up all the time. That's why I think about doing comedy, because at this point, and especially now, I mean, you'll know when you're over the target when you get hit. But a lot of people, that's a very good avenue for a lot of free thought and freedom of speech, right? And the way I think of it is almost having a copyright claim on your ideas. Okay, so it's a point where sure you can turn it into something funny and make a joke out of it, but it's mainly more important that you're the one that's like responsible for this new thought. That's how you establish it. And then you're like, if someone else repeats it and be like, oh no, I heard so and so say that. That's where that idea comes from.
That's courtesy. What's up, Bet?
Hey, what's happening, gentlemen? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Royalties. Wouldn't that be nice? Someone thought about your idea and spoke it. Has to pay you.
Yeah.
The mine police will come and get you if you don't pay. I think they made a movie about that, didn't they? The Tom Cruise.
Well, what movie? Sorry.
They would come and arrest you for crimes that you were going to commit. What was that? I forget the name of that. It's the thought police, basically.
Oh, Minority Report.
Thank you.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. There's more. There's multiple ones that you could put that under, but that's the one that, when everyone's thinking of that, that's one that, you know, like I said, original thought. That's the one that put that original thought out there. Now, the people that wrote that movie, and I always think about this too, like everything from like childhood shit, like childhood stuff that had lessons written into it, and then like articulated Hollywood theatrical shit that has a message behind it. Those are people I really want to have fucking these conversations with, where we're fucking doing dabs and hitting bowls.
Oh,
Those are the kind of people I want to talk to.
I'd like to
Yeah.
talk to Bernays, the guy, Dr. Bernays, the guy that basically solidified propaganda. Very, very.
Well, I don't know if he'd be very 420 friendly, but in a good setting, it would be cool to have him open up to me, like, yeah, this is all just mind control, and I'm taking advantage of people big time. You know, like a truth serum type shit.
Here, doc, smoke this. Then let's have the discussion, right? That'd be cool.
Dude, there's legitimate scientific knowledge of how that all fucking works. That's how sales guys, like, you can go study that shit. If you want to be a salesman, you can go study that shit, how to manipulate people, sway people. There's wording, you know what I mean? The way you present things can fucking sway them one way or the other.
There's a psychological process.
Art.
There's a psychological process in everything that a human does. If you understand that pattern of what that is, you can identify where the person is within that pattern and coax them along the way.
Yeah.
They
won't even know it, dude. Not even have a clue. They'll walk away thinking you're the best salesman in the world, too. That's the good ones. That's what they'll sell you everything under the sun, and you walk away being like, man, what a great guy.
My memory is either right on or dead off, but I almost want to say there's a really good documentary, really long. It's either 3-part or like the whole series. I think it's called like The Mind of Men. Sounds like generic, like there should be thousands of documentaries called it, but I almost want to say that's what it's called. But it goes into everything, like it's like the most in-depth psychological documentary that I've ever seen.
I'm very interested in psychology and humans, period. And so I've studied all it. Dale Carnegie, that's another. I worked for Dale Carnegie. So I mean, that's where I think I was like, holy fuck, really? Okay, I want to know all of this, right? But again, unless it's a win-win deal, I don't like it. I don't like to get into a situation like where you're trying to sell or persuade somebody to get something they don't need, or you know what I mean?
You don't want to sell the ketchup popsicle to a lady in a white dress?
Not cool, right?
She don't need it, right? Yeah, she don't fucking need it.
I want to be more of an advocate.
Shout out to Tommy Boy.
What's up, Tom? Yeah. So be an advocate for people. That's another like let's say I'm in cannabis, so let me guide you. Like, to the plant that might work best for you. You know what I mean? Instead of, dude, I don't really care what your problem is, but this is the plant you need. Right? No, it's you know, you want to help. It has to be a win-win deal for me anymore. And I can identify real quickly when it's not win-win. And I try to stay away from those situations as much as possible. I'm really high. How are you guys doing? Hi, how's your high today?
Right.
Red torches up.
For a minute there, I didn't think he was going to be on tonight. Eagle. I was at work until
Monday. I always stagger on late on Monday nights. Monday nights always the wormhole, always 2 o'clock. Always.
That's actually how I.
It's supposed. Well, I say always. That's what it's supposed to be. But sometimes I'm a little late.
what it's always supposed to be.
Right.
So, are you gonna join the protesting against metric down there? I've seen Brandon Russ was talking about that Sunday, and then he had a little thing on Instagram about it too.
So I'm working on a outdoor grow, and the guy's license it, or the guy that has the license, he had to go to that metrics class. And I tell you what, I mean, they're going to be implicating it, making it to where if you don't do it, it's a crime. So I don't think I'll be out there protesting that one. But yeah, I get it. There's a lot of those things that they are wanting in there that are kind of ridiculous. I mean, I don't know. Like I just defoliated 90 plants today. Technically, I'm supposed to weigh all that that leaf matter up and weigh it and report that to the state. A lot of people compost their stuff, so if they're composting it, they don't have any waste. So technically, if you don't have any waste, they're going to be cracking down on that. All kinds of weird stuff's about to change here just in the next couple days.
Huh. I just wonder what their concern is about the leaves, the weight of the leaf. You know what I mean? Like some of that stuff just doesn't make sense to me. Like why make a minutia of all this data that you have to collect for no apparent reason at all?
I think what they're worried about is it being a nuisance and having fiends going through trash trying to collect, cannabis leaves.
Fan leaves.
Believe it or not, there's a lot of people that aren't that educated about what part of the plant that you really smoke. A lot of people out here, until cannabis really became a thing out here, nobody had ever seen a plant, let alone, the understanding of it.
True that. I just don't follow the concern there. You know what I mean? Like,
isn't that weird how prohibition held back like literally like decades and decades of knowledge like that? To the layman, they don't understand that you smoke the flower, not the leaf.
And even still today, I mean, I'm still having to educate people like at these conventions. The last couple event we went to last weekend or the weekend before. So our law out here says anywhere where you can smoke a cigarette, you can consume cannabis. So there was allowed to smoke in the building, but then security staff wanted to try to tell me I couldn't smoke my blunt in there. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" They said, "Yeah, it's on the pillars out there." And I said, "Yeah, I know it's on the pillars." I went and I took pictures of it and came back and I showed him. He's like, "Well, you can't smoke flower in here." I'm like, "No, that's not how the law works. If you can smoke concentrate, you can smoke flower, and you can smoke cigarettes. It's all the goddamn same out here."
that's cool. I like that. It should be all the same.
I mean, unless it's like technically I could go across the street here to the park, and which I would not do because I mean it's just not necessary. But I could go out there with my rig and blowing smoke clouds all over out there because there is no sign that says no smoking on the park premises. Now, if there's a sign that says that, then now you can't. You can't. Just like with the firearm, you can open carry out here, but there are some places that have signs that says guns are not permitted, so you can't bring it in.
You know, Colorado was pretty much exactly like that. It's where apartment that I stayed at, according to the apartment rules, you can't even smoke or do anything with cannabis. Can't even have it on you, let alone use it as medicine, let alone recreate with it, let alone grow it, because that's the rules that this apartment made up. Even though the whole state is recreational, right?
Well, I'm sure that there'll be enough people like Russ Brandon protesting and getting signatures to kind of change some things. And there's some things that, just like in every state, I mean, they set their rules and regulations, and every year or so they do adjustments because there was something that they left out that people are finding loopholes or whatever the heck they want to do, you know. But it
My
seems that like
argument,
every go ahead.
go ahead, my bad. I'm sorry. I
I was
interrupted.
just gonna say it seems like every couple 9 to 12 months, you know, things are gonna be changing.
Yeah, my argument for that was that, like you said, with the cigarettes, I even though the argument didn't work because the laws were already, or not the laws, but the rules were already written on, white paper. But I would argue that I can smoke cigarettes in this apartment, but I can't smoke weed. The weed I have already is a medicinal license from the state. And weed, not in my certain case that I was using it for, but for a lot of other people, its case that they use it for is to help prevent cancer from spreading or help try to cure cancer. So I would just find it totally ironic that I could sit in my apartment and hotbox cigarettes all day that cause cancer, but the way that the people there that made their rules, they're totally against weed, which is the answer to that. So yeah, that's just a little tangent about how the laws or rules can be in one given space.
True that.
We got a lot of rules. More and more daily.
I passed a lot of, there was a lot of people that just came by, whether they were in the same mindset where they were just sick of mundane life and they wanted to get work done with as soon as possible. But I had many inspections, like the yearly smoke alarm inspections or the chimney cleaning inspections or the plumbing inspections, where they would come in and then they would walk right past my grow tents, not even fucking notice it. But then once in a while, you leave a pipe sitting out and they're like, are you smoking in here? That's not allowed. I'm like, hello, lady, there's a fucking grow tent with weed plants sitting right next to you.
That's good. I like that. No, that's indoctrinated mindsets.
And that was in Colorado, like I'm saying.
Yeah, there's all kinds of indoctrination. I mean, vet knows. I mean, he was in the military. There's an indoctrinated mindset there. You go to different schools. There's indoctrinated mindsets there. They all want you persuade you to think and believe one way or another. It'd be nice if we could just somehow pry away from that type of thinking a little bit.
We're almost there in time. Almost.
I think so. It's another time, but
10 years.
We're going in that direction.
Yeah.
Once you stabilize believe it or not, once we stabilize the financial aspect of things, it takes a huge stress off the slavery aspect of being human. And like I heard a guy today saying that things should go back to 1950 prices. Oh, fuck. Really? Just imagine if that happened.
Wait, the whole world back to 1950 or one aspect of it?
Let's just say the whole world goes back to a 1950 price
The only thing I think about that is cool is the automobiles.
But I'm just saying, how much more money would you have? You see what I mean? You're dropping the cost of everything down like shit, 80%. You know what I mean? And so now you don't have that stress of having to make up for that 80% to survive, to buy shit, to buy that car. I mean, I remember my car that I loved when I was 17 years old. I walked by it every day. It was $2,900.
Mhm.
I just like today, I'm like, fuck, I could go, go down and buy that right now, but it's not.
40, 50 years ago, the cars that you would buy for $3,000, those cars now are worth $70,000, $90,000.
Exactly. Yeah, that's my point. So the stress of coming up with 90 versus, you see what I'm saying? It would take off
Well,
a lot of pressure from people.
Unless you already are on a good path that you can pay for it in less than 1 year's salary, those kind of cars where someone could pay for,
Yeah.
you can't even afford in 1 year's salary, the average person.
Right.
They almost are totally, like I said, like we're saying, like you make it a class thing.
Yeah.
After a certain point, there used to be a lot of things more promised to you, committing your whole life to a career, from early adulthood into retirement. You would get so much more for that commitment. Back then you could do that. You could be able and those cars were bigger too, more real estate. You can fit like 4 adults and like 4 children in those cars, right? Uh, and they were, like I said, the amount of money to where you can easily afford with everyone's average job that they had, anything from like teaching to factory working, they're able to afford that family car and just a year's salary. To now, if you want to be just a little bit upscale, yeah, I mean, there's those cheap companies, there's more than tons of them to name, but if you want to just be a little bit more upscale, it's almost out of your class. You're gonna have to work years to be able to afford that car. Which
You said the key word.
That was the case. That was the case even back in the day with the $3,000 car. There were people that couldn't afford them then, and you know what I'm saying. So yeah, I mean, we had a bigger middle class, is the point you're making there, and less inflation. Now we have more inflation and less of a middle class, and that's where the gap is that you're talking about. The inflation comes though because they're just printing fucking money.
If you're
Yeah.
let's say you're making X in today's standard, and then you drop to 1950 prices, you're still making 2021 prices or wages, but the price of everything drops down to 1950. Now everything's a lot more affordable, you see, because you have the money to make it happen. Right?
Mm-hmm.
The high inflation is happening today, Florida.
And what are those jobs? What are those jobs to compensate for that? You know what I mean? Right now, how much do you have to get paid for you to live life like it's 1950?
Exactly. A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. All right.
You're not even if you got paid $15, if they up to the minimum wage to $15 and you got $15 per hour at working at McDonald's, it's still not cutting the fucking cake there at the end.
Here, let's see. My first job, I made 50 cents an hour. Okay, 1968, and I made $1 an hour if I stayed and did maintenance. All right, which I worked at a car wash. I was underage. Okay. You had to be 14. I think I was 12 or something like that. I don't know. I definitely lied about my age. But I'm saying but let's say today I'd be making probably $18 an hour. You see what I'm saying? And if the prices were the same as back then, dude, definitely a a man could run a household where, back then, my dad worked and my stepmom stayed at home, and everything today is two people work. Hell, you can't even have most single families. Almost need a boarder, or a roommate.
Well, we can do a rudimentary increase on when our currency was founded into how much silver is worth, right? I know you did you're like I said, you've been studying up on the Federal Reserve and stuff like that lately. So where $1 used to buy you an ounce, not even Federal Reserve note, one U.S. Note, one U.S. bank reserve, currency reserve note, or a dollar bill, an actual, by the technical monetary term, dollar bill. It's not a Federal Reserve note. It's a dollar bill. That used to buy you an ounce of silver. I don't know what the current exchange is now, but it costs more than, I think, $19, 19 Federal Reserve notes to pay for that same ounce of silver. So whatever that money was worth in 1912, 1913, it's 18 times is
More than that, actually. But
drained down.
I think you're talking about silver certificates. Is that what you're talking about? Where the
Well, just what they
percentage
fixed the
silver?
dollar, like the actual definition of a dollar is based on a silver dollar, and that's based on an ounce of silver, and that whole, the where our currency is valued.
When you have a values
Supposedly.
inflation is very hard to obtain because you have value. All right. If you have gold or silver backing a currency, we tried to switch over to a silver, I think, back when Kennedy was in power, and they killed it.
If someone's out there listening that knows a little bit more, but I'm pretty sure like the actual term dollar is very specific to an actual silver dollar. That's where the term is derived from. Because before currency notes or paper notes, it was only coinage that was traded, and the 1 ounce silver coin was the most commonly used coin in circulation. That's where the term dollar comes from, and then that's like a fixed thing, like a dollar I think is a fixed thing. So it fluctuates in between time, where one Federal Reserve note will get you, or say either 19 up to 25, fluctuating Federal Reserve notes will buy you 1 ounce of silver, but that's never changed. The amount of money that you'll get for an ounce of silver is only dictated on how much a dollar is worth, right?
Well,
Like how the world reserve currency.
No, that's not
Yeah.
correct. No, look, it used to be that when we had a values-backed system instead of a fiat currency system that we have now, the notes were dollars. Okay, they weren't Federal Reserve notes. We don't even have dollars. They're more like we refer to them as dollars, but it's a Federal Reserve IOU, is what it is. Okay, now we had dollars paper, but that was only because it got to be hard carrying around those beautiful silver dollars that you're talking about, or the smaller gold ones, which were 20, I think, $20 gold pieces, I think. All right. But once we went off that, and they slowly dripped us off that system to the fiat system, to where we went fully onto the fiat system in 71 with Richard, I'm not a correct, Nixon. And if you look at the graph of inflation, that's when inflation started going up. Because, right? But the key, what America did is they got the world to adopt the dollar as the main currency.
World reserve currency.
Yeah, see? And it was based on the petroleum, right? And that's why we're in this sticky wicket, and they're fighting to keep the fiat system, and the white hats, of course, are fighting to bring us back to a valued backed currency. And that's why I'm saying once we get back to value, inflation will balance out. You see, because you've got actually.
Well, if you think about it, then like say, yeah, well, that's the equation that I tried saying is you figure that out right now. I don't know what the price of silver is.
Oh, dude, but you see, okay. I know what you're saying now because that would drive the price of gold up to like
So
20,000.
$26.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so right now, thank you, Eagle. If you could go into the bank and take a dollar bill / Federal Reserve note, trade that in because it's backed by metal, precious metal. You get $26 for that, or you get 1 ounce of silver, let's say. So that's basically, like I said, I'm too high right now to do the mathematical of how much. If a gallon of milk cost $1, divide that by 26, what would that be? 4 cents? Around 4 cents. So right now that would change it to where a gallon of milk, a gallon of milk today is $1. If our currency was backed with silver, it would only cost us 4 cents.
It's because see what you're doing. What you just said is it balances out
Mhm.
the okay. So, but also we can't really say that. I mean, to bring it back, right? Because we printed all this money, right? So we have to bring the value of that money up to the amount of gold that we have or silver or value to back it. And that's where people come up with these like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 prices on gold. However, if we do it correctly, in my humble opinion, based on what I've been researching, those that have stolen from us within our country, if they give back all the money, it will offset that considerably.
Absolutely, it would, but good luck with that.
Well, it's all digital now. So I mean,
that's what I was gonna say is that's who's making out is what you just highlighted who's making out in all this printing of money.
Those are the crooks again.
But that's who's making out when we just keep.
They also count that money being like even past trillions, right? That's in the quadrillion.
Probably, yeah. But if let's say that they do, let's say they get caught somehow for stealing, because that's what they're doing. They're thieving the humanity. So let's say if they get caught, penalty. No, we're not going to kill you. We're going to put you on. We're going to put you on the news or whatever, but you're going to give all the money back. Well, you can't do that. Yes, we can. Click that computer button over there and get it back over here. You're done. Have a nice day. I mean, it will be, I think, that simple. But to make those types of changes, I mean, the world's like, visualize like a huge battleship. All right. You can't just grab the wheel and go, let's make a quick right hand turn. No, it takes lots of mini turns to get it to go any fucking way, right? So it's people. We're in this society nowadays where we expect things to happen now. This type of shit, it's been going south for so long. Believe me, it's going to take a long time for it to go north. So just be patient. And
this discussion actually goes back to Lincoln's day.
Yes, it is. 1776, my friend. That's where it goes back.
Yeah, true.
When the republic was established, when we had constitutional law.
Yeah, where you could pay your taxes.
No, because the dollar bill wasn't established then. There were other means that they were trading and doing things, and the dollar bills started coming about when they had each state started having like their own dollar bills, and then they wanted one national one.
It was the complete opposite of central banking.
Yes.
But that's when the central banking and the Federal Reserve was established, and they were like, the greenbacks were out there, and that's what Lincoln was pushing was the greenback, because it was actually a government issued form of currency, you know what I'm saying, and versus the other, and that actually lost out. I think it was Andrew Jackson that fucking made all that go the Federal Reserve way, something like
It
that.
would be good if we could learn the proper history of this country. I mean, that's why people like that and many other people that I know have served so that we can enjoy the republic.
I think that's a big problem, though, like what you just said there, Bingus. I mean, where did we all learn our history initially? We were taught it. We were taught it in school, and who controls what history gets taught in schools? The National Historical Society, and who
you don't even want to know what kind of
started the
creepy
National
people.
Historical Society? The people that got all the money, man. I'm drawing a blank on the name now, but Rockefellers and all them. Actually, they started the fucking National Historical Society. They choose what we get taught. That's how deep it goes, and they've been doing that for decades. They choose what we get taught in school, and they choose
And
what
if
we
you
see
wanna-
on TV. Where it's why it's called programming.
if you wanna-
Programming. That's
there's
exactly
probably
what they're doing to you. Is they're programming you.
there's probably people that have taken it way more in depth in a later date, but the person that probably gets the most credit for that is Charlotte Iserby. And her book that she wrote was Deliberate Dumbing Down of America. And her father was a Skull and Bones member.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's a straight up like game plan, play by play setup of how they wanted to fix the educational setups to literally, like said the title, dumbing down, like it's deliberately, like they literally or
What do we get taught about money in school? And do you guys ever remember getting taught about like balancing a checkbook, about currency in general? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what wouldn't that be kind of basic knowledge everybody should have, right? Like,
yeah,
saying.
No, they want you get indoctrinated, man, into the system. Period. I mean, I don't know, man.
At some point, I understand what that they say and like the Freemason sense of it, and they're the architects of society, and it's necessary for them to do that to program the next generation and keep the cogs and the wheels continuing and keep infrastructure and society keep running.
Yeah.
That's what they think they're doing. They think that they're the puppeteers of society. And they're putting systems in play that control everything else that dictates all the functions of society.
Yep.
That's the way I've learned to understand it is look from the top down, not from the bottom up. Okay. And once you start thinking in that direction, the information magically will start arriving for you to read. If you cruise the internet with that type of a mindset. So it's there.
Go ahead, Eagle.
I just wanted to just interject and pause the conversation for a minute so I can get back to work. If you remember this girl, you guys, I believe Bingus and Smiley were here. Let me put down there. Remember that girl? That girl was like tall and lanky, and I pulled her apart as I buried her. Remember? I buried her down deep, and then I spread her apart as I buried her. And now I have pulled her down once, but as you can see, that scraggly bitch filled right out. So now I'm gonna pull these down. Ready for flower.
That's tet growing at its finest, right there.
Just want a little update. That's all. I'm getting back to work now.
Good job, man.
What I was going to mention real fast is Bingus, our friend Dead Cynic. I think it was yesterday. I lose track of hours, not so much like I have the weed sense of it, bad short-term memory. Yeah, that fucking 24 hours to week memory. Almost certain it was yesterday. he had a live stream that he did all about like supernatural or paranormal subjects. And I really like where he comes from on that point of view, right? So, research wise, it's almost like we're, listening to all the same, you know.
Well, that's just it. Once you start going in that direction, you're going to come. It's like spokes in a wheel. You end up at the same spot, right? You just come from different directions. Depends on where you are and what you need. That's why I say start looking from the top down, and imagine if you had to uh, manage 8 billion humans. Start there.
So yeah, I mean, I can go even further into depth with that, like saying like for every instance why I believe it. But I always said looking top down, and you want to visualize it as what's actually on that dollar bill of ours,
Yeah.
that damn pyramid with the all-seeing eye. What does that symbolize? That's what that symbolizes. It's looking top down from the top of the pyramid down, right? And who can do that? It's the supernatural, spiritual beings that aren't bound to physical space and time.
I heard an interesting story because I've studied the Bible. I don't know if anybody's. I don't really. It's called the Bible, but it's really a one of the greatest epics that's been written in our time. And there's the story of Adam and Eve, right, where they're in the garden frolicking and having fun, and the snake comes along and says, "Hey, check this apple out," and Eve gives it to Adam and kind of gets the blame, right? And God comes in and says, "What the fuck did you do?" And Adam's like, "Oh shit, God's talking to me." And but I think what really that story, first of all, they weren't that old. Number one, they were just new beings in the garden, right? And they knew what to do, and then God says, "Don't eat from these trees," and then supposedly like the next day, they're eating from the tree. I mean, something, something's up, right? So I'm thinking it's more like God said, "Don't eat from the tree." Eve was like, "How come he didn't talk to me?" You know, I mean, he's talking to you, but he didn't talk to me. I know what he wants, Adam. He wants us to eat from the tree, right? And well, how do you know that? Well, the snake told me that that's what he wants. He wants you to eat from the tree. Then we'll be like him and be able to experience the lower dimensionality. And so, right, it happens.
Eve had the very first experience that people are chasing with psychedelics or out of body experiences or seances or sleep paralysis or uh, shamanistic type practices or meditation, yoga, kundalini yoga, and all that stuff. There's so many different avenues to get to that. That's what
The
people.
knowledge of good
I
and
just
evil.
think it's that he wanted them to eat from the tree of life or take the mushrooms or whatever, right? So that you would drop to the lowest dimension because they weren't in the 3D then. They were in a higher dimension. He wanted to bring the light, to bring the love to the lowest.
That's where that conversation led to, and it led to common experiences that people have had. Yeah. And he was talking about being spiritually attacked. And when you're on that plane, you're exposed to that, or you're vulnerable to that. Where you're here, you might have some protection if you have like a relationship, like what we're talking about. If this is all familiar territory to what you're used to and stuff that you already believe, you're more likely to be more protected here on this realm. And then when you go outside of that realm, when you try to explore, that's when you're more vulnerable to those kind of spiritual attacks. And they could be anything. They could be like night terror, torments. It can be like schizophrenic voices hearing in your head, or to when I smoked salvia and I went outside of my body, literally peeled off of 3D. Like I came out of 3D, came to what I would describe as 4D, to where that 3D, the realm that I just came out of, all of a sudden was like a 2D projection. And I'm floating around in third dimensional, just white space, like an infinite, infinity room. And the place that I fell out of or came out of was now, to me, recognizable in a 2D, like Polaroid picture of what the realm actually was. And as I'm like looking around, like looking in this white space, trying to like make sense of it, I started seeing shit. And I told Cynic that I literally saw like things firing arrows at me, like bow and arrow, like fling, firing arrows at me.
Cherubs?
I don't know what they were, but that's the whole thing of being attacked, is that certain entities don't like that you just snuck up into their dimension and you're all of a sudden snooping around, and they'd automatically try to oust you right from that territory. But I'm going to go into more of a spiritual thing. And like I said, I think that's because I had no business in being there, to where I think like we could name certain people, historical people, anyone from like Elon Musk to Hitler to Aleister Crowley to Genghis Khan, like a whole bunch of different people, right? I think they had different experiences. They're the ones that you hear people trying to go to the Amazon and do ayahuasca to try to get hold of.
But right, what I'm trying to get at is, I think Eve is responsible, all right? The responsible one, all right, that convinced them both to come to the lower dimension to bring light, okay? Instead of being blamed for it, I think she instigated it in the right way. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I do see what you're saying, and I would say then Joe Rogan is Eve, because Joe Rogan influenced millions of people to smoke DMT.
I think it all speaks to the basis of our human nature to begin with. And if you think of it, woman's gonna say, look, man, you're not complete, you need something more. And the guy, if you think of it, when God instantly said, Adam, what'd you do? He right away blamed Eve. That was the first thing he did, is like, well, she did it and you created her for me. Those were the two blames that Adam put, was that she made me do it and you made her for me. So he blamed everybody else for what he had done. And that's the speak to our human nature right there at the basis of it. Like, I don't know. I think that's where a lot of
you're right on target, because that adds that responsibility. You see what I'm saying? And accountability that we lack so dearly today. I mean, we really do. But that's why we're here, is to bring, and yeah, I mean, here's the other thing. He was in such adoration of God actually talking to him. He was just like, I mean, in a daze.
Talked with God and talked with him every day.
All right, but
they were under the realization of the shame of what they had done, because after they ate, they became instantly aware of, like, of the new. They were naked. They instantly became aware they were naked. That's why they were hiding. And God was like, "Why are you trying to hide? Like, who told you were naked?" You know what I mean? Like, that's where some of those realities came about. We, like the knowledge of good, in my opinion, is actually just the knowledge of how to take advantage of another human being, and the knowledge of our own weaknesses, and then how we can exploit those weaknesses in other people, because we're all have those same weaknesses. You know what I mean?
I think
isn't it more like God was saying, look, don't eat. Look, guys, I love you guys in the garden. I know I need you to go to the third dimension to help bring the light, but I really don't want you to have that type of pain in your life. So please don't eat from the tree of life. Okay, please don't do that, right? Because if you do, then you're going to work and have the sweat on your brow. You're going to have menstrual periods.
But the knowledge of good and evil is where we've got our free will. It's just like,
that's the point.
It's just like a wolf doesn't think of itself as running around naked. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where we got our free will. We got our knowledge of
that's what God wanted, was for them to eat the apple. Isn't that really what he wanted? I mean, to me, it'd be like, I don't want you to, but I need you to.
What I think is there's still a physical gap in between that realm and the spirit realm, to where like you need that fruit, you need to eat from that tree, you need to eat a mushroom, you need to smoke DMT, you need to lay in a fucking coffin and have people do a seance around you, or you need to sacrifice children to idols and that kind of shit.
I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying that to me, if I'm if I'm God, let's say, and I need them to go, because dude, we came here to the third dimension to bring the love, to bring the light, basically. In the beginning, probably wasn't so fucking easy because there wasn't that many of us. Okay, now there's way too many, and it seems to me Lucifer's in charge.
So what I'm saying is, the people that get the direct access to, the spirit, they go and find the people that they want to talk to. That are knocking on the door, so to speak, right? And I would make a case that
basically the higher realms, right?
That I would say that's directly responsible to every progress in technology that we've had, at least in the last 500 years or more.
Like
everyone that you do the research in, like from Isaac Newton to Charles Darwin, Nikola Tesla, they were directly tapped into the occult. And Nicola's
totally agree. But see, we don't know. They indoctrinate that out of us. They don't want us to know how to use the human body, the human vessel, the human instrument in a multi-dimensional.
I don't know if that's a good thing though, because like I'm saying, the spirits, what they ask for isn't a good trade-off. They get us to destroy ourselves or make our lives miserable.
Like I said, we don't have the instructions on how to do it properly. All right. If we did, why else would we have the capability to do it? All right. It's just that they block the information on how to do it properly, how to protect yourself, how not to get attacked by the negative forces. And then go into that realm and bring back the things that you already know. You've probably already experienced in other lifetimes.
The person that
can't remember what it is.
I just want to reiterate that the Bible does kind of tell you that stuff, and that love is that mindset that the Bible talks about, and that charity and giving to others and forgiving others and all those things kind of put you in that different realm, even though it doesn't describe it that way. I'm just saying
how to access it properly. Okay.
It also says we shouldn't be doing any pharmakia or burning herbs or incenses and hotboxing and that kind of shit too. So.
You crack me up, Red. I really think you should consider the comedian aspect of things. I enjoy
the aspect of it.
Well, you said you want to get on that show, right?
Well, it's so hard. I'm in a conflict between that show and this realm. I can't. It's two different realms. There's one there. It's a total. If you're going to be a really good Canadian, if you're going to be a really good Canadian, then no. But if you're going to be a really good comedian, you can't take shit seriously, no matter how much shit someone's talking about you or this and that. You just got to pass off it. And then for us, I feel like right now I'm in a serious mood. Like I'm in a discussion about intellectual things, and I'm trying to be more serious. I don't have to put a comedic effect on it. And then the opposite is true when I'm doing the comedic effect. Yeah, when you're in comedy, you just want to be full into that. You don't want to like break it down to, oh, I just got too real for a moment. Sorry, guys. That kind of thing.
Okay. I just think intellectual humor, there's a place for it. You know what I mean? There's a place in comedy for that. Like we could talk.
I don't think I can get away with that being an open micer though, because then people will be like, "Who do you think you are, Bill Hicks?" or something like that.
Well, religion, of course, and all that is kind of I'm surprised we've gotten this far, to be honest, without too many rocks being thrown. I'm just talking, dude. This shit I think about. I don't know. I don't fucking know, man.
I think it's great discussions, man. I do.
I think about it constantly.
Yeah.
I've thought about it constantly since I was like 17 years
Me
old.
too. I mean, I'm a thinker. That's what I do a lot. I spend a lot of time in the garden thinking and certain.
Well, since we were on this religious aspect, what do you guys know about the woman that was there before Eve?
Lilith.
The what?
Lilith.
Yeah, Lilith. All I know that just goes into detail as much as I know. I just know that there's a mother of God too. That's where the name derives from.
That's all.
I don't know anything. Teach me.
Madonna,
Lilith was
not the pop artist, but supposedly our Lord, God, that one we don't use the name of is Jehovah, but Jehovah's mom is Madonna. There's the whole other thing is there's other beings, there's angels and other humans that predate Adam and Eve, and all different kind of. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. I just know that. All I know is what I already just said right there.
Yeah, where I was going with that is it's kind of like backpedaling to where we were talking about how we only know what we know from who tells us what that's what it is. But there's also like I've read the Bible a lot of when I was younger, and I questioned a lot of it. But even so, I mean, there's still evidence of well, there's the stories of Lilith, but even with Jesus being married and having a child, that's another one of those things where the whoever was in charge of rewriting or translating the Bible at the time kind of said what they wanted and left out what they didn't want everybody to know. And but yeah, Smiley, you're right. There's a lot. All those higher ups are the ones that kind of control who tells us what.
I just want to say there's no legitimacy to that at all. So I just want to throw that out there. If there is, you can share that with me. But I would claim that there is no legitimacy to that story whatsoever.
I'll say this too. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of this, but anyone ever heard of New Chronology or Anatoly Flamenco? So he's a Russian mathematician that tried to do like the math between like certain you try to figure out like a lunar calendar pattern, certain things. That's what got him to go on this thing, and he tried to see if it matched up with certain historical dates, and then he found out that this lunar calendar didn't match up with the historical dates, to where someone figured out that they plagiarized a couple hundred years in the thing. If you want to study, and he wrote like it's like a 7-book, like 22 different volume series covering almost like everything in history, from like ancient Egypt to ancient Greece to ancient Rome and all that stuff. And it's basically newer, not older. Like a lot of people like to push dates back, like pyramids aren't 4,000 years old, they're 30,000 years old. Well, this crazy ass fool says that the pyramids are from the 1700s. That's how new they are. So like if you look up New Chronology, that's a whole rabbit hole.
Dude, I think you should start reading the chat room. My God, you guys in the chat, fucking hey, man, keep it up. I'm learning more from y'all than in my little humble brain up here. Believe me.
There's a great series on on YouTube actually. It's is Genesis history, and it's a question: is the book of Genesis actual human history? And it's kind of a documentation of these guys that are scientists and seismologists and fucking geologists and all these people that study the aging of the planet and old, you know what I'm saying, and carbon dating these things.
You're saying that they're saying it's new.
They line it up to kind of, yeah, it actually does.
You're making a case for saying it's newer though than older, right? No. Okay, because there's other people, like I said, there's other people that those like sand pillars in certain, like in the out in the West and like Yosemite and Arizona and you know, Utah and stuff, they have those big sand pillars that they said are eroded from wind, right? They got them in Africa and other places too. Well, there's a guy that made a contraption that basically replicates them in seconds. Now it's obviously to a smaller scale, you know, to like a little tabletop unit. But those same exact things that they're like, oh, that was just a canyon and the wind blew it into those pillars. This guy shows that it's vitrification through lightning bolts that happened like literally within seconds, not thousands of years or millions of years.
Yeah, I know there's discrepancies in carbon dating, and that at certain points it becomes carbon guessing, and that's when they get into the whatever billions and millions and hundreds of thousands of years old shit. That's all guessing. That's like people say those are scientific facts, those are scientific guesses, and that's nothing more. And if you change the criteria of what they use for carbon dating, you can actually scale that time is going to fall within the time frame of what is in Genesis actually. So
well, with that being said, is you know, there's,
to be frank, though, science has never disproven the Bible at all.
If you're talking about Genesis from the Pope and a Catholic standpoint, then he's totally fine with that. The Pope will tell you that Genesis is perfectly congruent and that the Earth is 4.84 billion years old. And the Pope will tell you that as soon as aliens come down to Earth, that he's ready to do baptisms for all the aliens too. So there's a certain point where religion has definitely given up with the whole, you guys think the Earth is 6,000 years old? You guys are stupid. So the
Pope is also.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, the Pope.
The Pope. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, the Pope, he is with most every form, even like if you want to go, you know, what people call crazy people, you know, and they're like, even Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't believe that the Earth is, there's no Christians on Earth that really actually believe the Earth is 6,000 years old. They've all adopted the theory that there's evolution and there's the Big Bang theory. The Earth is 4.84 billion years old. That the Big Bang caused the universe to expand, and it's 14.7 billion
That's more
years.
silly than trying to. I don't know, man. I think
a Catholic priest is who came up with the theory of the Big Bang.
But that's a Catholic priest. That's not. I don't know. That's different, I guess.
But what I'm trying to say is a lot of people make fun of Christians, or they say like, oh, they're stupid. They think the Earth is 6,000 years old. But that's actually not, I don't know since what year that's not been true, but for at least in my lifetime, they've all gone with, oh no, science has the keys to and all the answers to everything. We can believe scientists. They know exactly the age of the Earth and the age of the universe. So even the highest, your priestiest priest, your preacheriest preacher, the Pope himself believes in the Big Bang.
That's not my preachiest of preacher, though. That's something totally different. And
no, I'm saying all of them do, though, across the board. Catholics, Jehovah's Witnesses, the Quran, Judaism.
All of them across the board. That's not true. That's all that I'm trying.
No,
to say. There's plenty of people that actually believe that is 6,000 years old. So I'm trying to say, well, you're trying to rope everybody together in a thing, and that's not true. That's not true.
No, science has conquered all of that. I'm saying
hasn't, though. Every scientist that's set out to prove that wrong has actually come to actually be a Christian. So even Darwin himself. So I don't know.
No, well, that's what I mean. Cancel culture hasn't came off Darwin. I don't even want to go into the whole Darwin thing, but he didn't like dark skinned people.
If anything, science has disproven the Big Bang theory. Like that's totally
no. That's what I mean. No,
that's
not
like
at all.
Nonsense,
because children. No, that's what I mean. Children are taught that's absolute
truth. Nonsense that's already been disproven, and we're still teaching it in school.
It doesn't matter. Disproven to me and you, Smiley, but children, they got to go to school and believe all that shit.
No, they don't. I think it's bullshit. Why are we telling them some bullshit?
Yeah, we think it's bullshit, but the teachers don't think it's bullshit.
Yes,
The
they
people
do.
explaining it to those kids in
The
school.
scientists have already disproven that Big Bang is even possible. The
No,
whole
there's
theory's
no.
been disproven
So
by
Neil deGrasse
philosophers.
Tyson doesn't believe in the Big Bang anymore.
I don't think so. I don't know, man. If he does, he's
Oh no, no, you got to go look it up. Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson are preaching the ever living shit out of the Big Bang right now.
I think it's silly.
You go.
Silly
We're retards. Me and you, Smiley. We're religious nut jobs compared to Bill Nye and Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Why is that?
Because it is what they say it is, and it is the Big Bang, and it is evolution.
What? Are you sarcastic right now?
No, I'm being I'm literally being 100% honest. That
that sounds like a totally
what
sarcastic statement to me right now. I'm sorry, but
it doesn't matter what we believe, man. They write history. The winners wrote history.
right, okay, I get what you're saying. It is a sarcastic statement then.
To me and you, it is, but not to them. They would get pissed off. They'd be fucking turning all red in the face, getting all mad that we don't believe it. And
I could ask Neil. I could ask him right now three questions that would like to explain the Big Bang. Only explains one part of some elements, a handful of elements. There still has to explain the biological diversity that we have in plants and fungi and
what I'm saying is that we would be labeled.
Not all of that is explained through.
But Smiley, what I'm saying is me and you would be.
You know what I mean?
We would be labeled science deniers if we don't just want to go along and coattail off what they got to say.
Science denies itself.
Well, what I'm trying to tell you, there's people, there's a division. There's people that believe in science and then they ignore religion because science is there to tell them the truth.
Science is their religion. That's what.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye and among a whole bunch of other people are those types of priests in that religion. Those are the ones spilling out that philosophy and getting a lot of people to believe in it and making us, like I said, look stupid because we're not supposed to talk about what we're talking about because we're just low intellect.
Just saying, man, there's a lot that doesn't get explained by Big Bang. So
Time.
Peace out, Bangs.
I appreciate both you guys and Eagle Gardens and Vet, he's gone right now, and everybody in the chat room. But science is telling me that I got to go to fucking bed.
It's your bedtime.
So peace out, everybody, and God bless you all.
Good night, friend.
Good to see you, brother.
Thanks for popping in, Vegas.
Wise man checking out. No, I still would argue, man, Big Bang does not explain the spark of life. So it does not explain the actual spark of life, where life came from. It doesn't explain the biological diversity, so the anthropological diversity. And it doesn't explain our physical and mental wonder of where we came from and our even us trying to have these kind of discussions, you know what I'm saying? Like our introspection and our all of that we do is
you know, when you watch those documentaries like on National Geographic or whatever Discovery Channel, and they got like the narrator and like, we started from just a small point, you know, like that whole thing. That's just what I mean. It's just like maybe I grown up past it because like said I'm free thinking, but to me it just seems like it's just made there for kids to be indoctrinated in. And like there's adults that pay attention to it too. And I'm like, man, that's beyond nerdy. You know what I mean?
Science doesn't explain all of that. We have no idea where the spark of life came from. And we can't explain it, we can't replicate it, and we can't Frankenstein shit. Science ain't figured that out. We can map DNA, we can do all kinds of guessing at where shit came from, but we cannot recreate the spark of life. That is one thing that has not happened. I don't know. I guess they grow fucking meat in test tubes now or whatever, right? And fucking petri dishes. So that is some form of a cellular division, I guess, but I don't know.
The way I first saw that done is it was years ago, but the way at least the headline said that a Japanese scientist figured out to turn sewage waste into edible meat. Right. So now anytime I see that synthetic edible meat, I'm like, oh, it just came from fucking doo-doo drains. I don't want none of that stuff.
Yeah, some of that stuff just seems weird, like the insect protein and some of these thoughts too of like feeding world hunger. I get it, man. Some of the problems are out there, but wow. Like seems like there'd be other ways to think about it, you know what I mean? Just an opposite perspective, maybe. I don't know. Before eating, we're eating mealworm bugs mushed up into a hamburger. Just saying. Just saying.
Yum.
Is it that bad? Is what they say it is however many people are on Earth, however much food needs to sustain everyone on Earth. Is that bad? You know, that's a whole other thing if you want to go into philosophy. And the opposite end of that is where we're at 2021. And
Hey, real quick before we get going too far off of this track here, real quick. A minute ago when you were talking about the Pope, did you hear? I don't know if it was this Pope or the last Pope, but one of the two popes were talking about how that they have evidence of aliens, and they got those catacombs that go underneath the city and stuff, and there's all kinds of weird shaped freaking skulls and stuff like that in there. Did anybody else see that, or am I just like out in left field?
Well, that's what I mean. I do know that the Pope, both of them, like you said, the last two popes have both considered extraterrestrials to the point that they both have said that they would baptize any aliens that would come and want the baptism ceremony to be saved by Jesus or whatever, because aliens are going to believe in Jesus if they're coming from another planet. Anyway, yeah. If anyone hasn't read the book 1984, please read that book. It's going to help you. It's going to give you like a double IQ. It's going to raise your IQ by 2 times whatever you're at right now. But
watch the movie Idiocracy.
I was going to say where we're at. We're 2021. That was right where I left off.
Sorry, I derailed you.
Squirrel running on a hamster wheel. Squirrel running on a hamster wheel.
Read 1984, two IQ higher.
No, it was before that.
Pope. Aliens, catacombs.
Aliens. No, never mind. I'll think about it. If it comes back to me, I'll blurt it out. I gotta use the potty. I'll be right back.
The old pee distraction. That was the derail. That'll fucking derail a thought so quick, man. You gotta pee.
It's so funny because I'm a religious person, but I also believe in science too. So I see both sides of it, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just right here in the middle. Just I'm hearing it. I believe it. I just I know. Like even if like you read into like Revelation, what is it? No, is it Revelation? What's the last freaking
Revelation? Last one.
Revelations, yeah. So if you listen to some of that stuff, that sounds really freaking kooky. And that was all written by King David. And he was like on some kind of freaking trip, supposedly, when God was talking to him. Or John, yeah. Isn't he the one that John took and showed the future?
Yeah, he was like running a fever or something, if I recall. Or yeah, lucid or whatever during it, and they were writing it down.
Yeah, and some of the things that he was describing, I mean, if you really kind of think about it, a lot of it describes things that are happening today. And I thought I never really kind of listened to it until they started talking about how even in today's terms, like the big thing I guess that stuck out was like when they were talking about he didn't know what he was seeing, obviously, but he was talking about a creature that looked like a caterpillar that shot flames, which in today's term would be like a tank, right? You know, our tanks tracks, they kind of roll like caterpillars. And then they said flying, what they call it, flying hornets or flying grasshoppers with stingers. Our helicopters look like, you know, something that flies that really shouldn't be able to fly. And the little wheel that comes down from the back is called a stinger. So, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, end of days kind of foreseen in that book. But I mean, shit, man, this country's been looking like that for a long time.
Like little mini drones flying around to stick you with a fucking vaccine shot and make sure you're up. That's what I pictured at the end of the day. Is little fucking drones. They're gonna get your ass. Fucking
little COVID-19 shot flying around.
Yeah. No, I enjoy, man. I enjoy the back and forth, dude. I get pretty grounded in my belief. Obviously, I've dug into it some, and I don't mind talking about it. And people will think I'm crazy or whatever. I don't know, but there's.
I was just talking freaking. I was just talking with the grower today. I mean, like I said, I believe in God and everything, but I mean, if you really kind of look at it, like all these other cultures, they all have. Here's what that's where that thought was. Boom, good, brought it back. Good stoner. So when you look at all these other religions, you were talking about dating, and that kind of carbon dating is carbon guessing. But if you look at all religions, they all have a similar story about who their higher being is. They all have similar stories of world like events, like a world flood and certain, tsunami, waves at certain. I mean, it's really hard to date that, but when each religion, like on different continents, have the same story, who is God? Is it the God we know, or what did I know as a Christian, or is it the God that Chinese and Buddhists know, or is it they all have this, or is it the God that Allah? I mean, hell, the Quran was in the Bible till somebody removed it, and is there? I mean, they have the same kind of story as we do. So it's like, really, whose God is really the right God, or is all these people the same being?
Well, I believe the Islam would say that Allah is the same being across the board on them all, but there's definitely some differences when it comes to like Christianity in that respect, for sure. So I don't know. I mean,
I remember what I was
trying to say. I'm not trying to sit here and be like, oh, I'm right, and everybody's got to believe like me. I'm just, I'm just saying what I believe and trying to, be as.
What I was going to say,
I guess, is possible. I don't
know. There's a philosophy that goes around it, and like I said, with the global warming and the cow farting and all that, and are we too big for our britches? There's a philosophy that a lot of people, I think, adopted. I don't really like the sound of, because it makes us seem like we're a really bad thing. But a lot of people believe that we're like a mold on a sandwich, and how mold will totally encompass a sandwich and turn bread moldy. A lot of people believe that we're a virus on the earth and we're killing the earth. And what would be best for the earth is if we weren't to exist, if we were to lower our population.
Do you realize how freaking true that is? Because if you actually look at like I know how guys are talking about how it's debatable, but I can't remember the trench, whatever that deep trench is. On the other side of that trench is where the earth comes apart, and every 300 years the northwest magnet fields switch, and you can and when they test those rocks, you can see where those layers are, and I think it's 3 or 6 feet, and then the electrodes switch in the rocks. But anyways, what I was getting to is, you don't really realize how little time that we've been here in that mold kind of statement. The weather that we've had for the last, I don't know, 100,000 years yeah, 100,000 years has been really unusual. We're actually in the middle of going from a what they call the ice age into a warm spell. It's getting ready to go back in this whole global warming. It's not global warming, it's the earth going through its freaking cycle. I mean, there's more carbon being put into the atmosphere from volcanoes and everything else than us and our, gas guzzling vehicles. And if we're not here, guess what? It's going to continue to happen. And the earth recycles itself and it goes through its whole spiel over again.
The life cycle of planets like us that are in the perfect Goldilocks zone, that they call it, have a never, like a always going wheel or never ending circle of climate phases, to where, like you said, right now we're warming out of an ice age phase, which will eventually lead to where there's no actual ice on the surface, on land or water. There's no ice on the surface of Earth.
And there's not one damn thing we can do about it.
So what that causes is a runaway effect to where every single year there's more and more and more and more water vapor and CO2 in the atmosphere. And eventually that'll cause such a runaway effect to where there's so much of light reflected from our surface to where now the opposite effects. Now there's a cooling effect. Now we get ice.
Your buddy Neil deGrasse just said that not too long ago. He thinks we may be at that point of no return.
I can go on both sides of this. I can sit there and have a friendly conversation with Neil deGrasse Tyson about the evolution and the way that they explain things. Then I can also explain it on the other side of things, where we're not supposed to stray our minds and go off the far beaten path. But the way that they already, they put their foot in their mouth with laying out science and geology the way that they said it happened. So the way that they said it happened, like I said, there's a runaway effect at some point where there's an abundance of water vapor and CO2 in our atmosphere to where that reflects away enough sunlight to where it actually causes a cooling effect on the earth. And that's where you get icebergs and ice caps again. And then in certain cases, you get a snowball earth where the ice caps totally meet all the way at the equator. And it takes a long ass time for shit to geothermically warm up to melt that ice on the surface. Otherwise, it's a complete ice ball, and all of the sunlight is completely reflected into space. But what you had in the last ice age is it only went down to the tropics. Only the temperate zones, the Arctic and the temperate zones were only covered in ice, and it left the tropics still liquid, watery form. So continue that process of all that ice melting and evaporating, and all that ice growing and enclosing. And then it just keeps doing that. And that's if what we believe is really going on. Like we're saying, if we're millions of years old and there's this process that is way past human evolution, and it takes millions of years to complete a cycle, and where evolution is only a couple 100,000 years old as far as we've ever been here. So in the entire existence of everyone in our entire ancestry, we wouldn't even be able to see the entire phase take place.
Yeah, and I don't think our possibility of surviving this next climate shift. Well, it's going to be a hot one. I mean, there's going to be a lot of freaking water. Well, there's only supposed to be a couple of major land masses that are going to be even above water, correct?
Well, that's the thing is they always said it was going to happen like 28 feet over a 100-year period. And then I always laughed at that, like, oh, that's slow enough process. Everyone. And then I thought of like the people that live in New Orleans and then their house gets destroyed by a hurricane. And like, man, you got 100-year head start. You got 100 years notice to head to higher land. There shouldn't be a problem with that if the sea levels only rise to 28 feet higher than they're normally supposed to be at. There should be no one, held accountable for not being smart enough to, prepare for that. Even if it's like said the way that they say it is. You guys said it is one thing. That's, I mean, they put their foot in their mouth. They said this like 30 years ago. They're like, oh, by 2100, the ice caps are going to be gone and the sea level is going to be 30 feet higher than what it is now. So, well, now we'll have to see, because me and you might not be here, but there's going to be some people to call them on their fucking bluff, right? 2100 is going to eventually come around. We'll see if Antarctica is still there.
I still like the same old question: which came first, the chicken or the egg, or the tree or the acorn? Which one? Which one started it all? I don't know.
I got nothing.
Neither does science, so that's what's funny about it.
You would think that the herbal part would have to come first, unless we were herbivores right off the get and eating each other. So you'd think that, the plant side of things would have to came first, right? I said that right?
No, you're
We'd
right.
have to be man eaters or meat eaters if we would came first.
If you watch a vegan
right?
documentary, they'll explain the whole evolution and that we actually evolved from herbivores and we're not at all carnivores. There's at least one vegan person that knows exactly what I'm talking about in the chat. But
well, that's referring to our teeth structure, that we don't have jagged teeth that would tear apart meat. But that
takes into account, is evolution even real? Are we going to go down that road and be science deniers and say that evolution doesn't exist? Because, like I said, we're bound by what science says is so. Science says is so that we did evolve from herbivores. So, thus saying we should all be vegans.
Well, if we go to that road, I mean, the whole part on the science comes to the missing link. So there's your discussion. I mean, I don't know, but I ain't seen Bigfoot yet. So
yeah, and if we want to go back to biblical, I mean, if we want to believe the earth right here and everything on it was made for us, that's what the other side of it, the evolutionary vegan side of it, disagrees with, is that no, cows were not made for us to eat. We're meant to eat plants because that's what we evolved eating. So it gets divisive.
Yeah, there's a lot to even the fact that we cook food too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's my favorite. My favorite philosophy on any diet, at least, like you don't even have to come down to, is the earth 6,000 years old? Is it 4.8 billion years old? Regardless, the history of what we did consume is the paleo diet. It is raw food, or raw vegetables and cooked meats. So regardless of what the fuck happened in history, your grandparents, my grandparents, everyone else's grandparents, great grandparents, they're eating foraged vegetables and cooked meats. That's what they survived on.
Yeah, because there's something about the cooking process too that enabled us to actually be able to sustain the energy from it. You know what I'm saying? Not being a total carnivore kind of thing, like what you're talking about. So it enables our digestive system to digest it, like cooked food or whatever. So there's interesting shit, man. I don't know all the answers. I don't claim to. I'm just saying, like, science don't either. That's all. It doesn't explain a lot of it either. We discover things through science. That's what, you know what I mean. We don't know anything. We discover things and we form theories through science. That's it. I like it. I like the discussion. I was gonna say, even saying biblical or whatever, but I think it's the whole idea of even further than that would be like creationist theory versus like a evolutionist theory kind of thing, you know. Because like talking about plants too, like even a phenotypical expression between two different environments that we see in plants, and then we take that to like, you know, epigenetics, where those expressions get carried into the next generation and the next generation, and that could really, yeah, I mean, I don't know. People explain that as through evolution, but is that just intelligent design in the DNA coding to begin with? You know what I'm saying? Like it's intelligence within the coding, the DNA coding that's within the plant to begin with, that allows it to express different ways based off its environment and based off what interactions it has, you know. So, I don't know. There's two ways to look at it, I guess.
That's what I mean. That's when you, I mean, we're we're online, we're talking to ourselves right now, and we're online talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah, starting a bunch of argument. I hope not. I hope not, man. I don't want to be an argument. I just think it's a cool, open discussion. That's all.
With what you said, I know what my philosophy. I've came to that. I've done the obstacle, the mental gymnastics is what people like to call it. I've done enough in my head to figure out how that makes sense and why it doesn't, or why it does, or you know, that part of my, you know, what I go, you know, philosophy is all figured out. I'm comfortable believing in all that, but like I said, some people it doesn't make sense to. Or not necessarily doesn't make sense to, but said from the science standpoint of it, they have a harder time disagreeing with it because they think the other camp is somehow, you know, proselytizing religion, trying to get you to go to church.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think the very idea that we're even discussing this kind of shows that there's some kind of an extra spark that we have that wouldn't have necessarily, evolution wouldn't explain our psyche of trying to even ask these questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, just this discussion in itself proves that there's a God. So
I think it's a thing that, like I said, it's a contracted time, a dilate. You know, time is compressed smaller than what we believe in, and that phenotypic expression kind of proves that, because how quick is evolution? You know, how quick can you climatize or acclimatize a strain to its environment, cannabis's sake? I mean, I would think from our experience alone, we would know it doesn't have to take millions of years for that process, you know, to work. You can climatize varieties of cannabis in 2-3 generations.
Where does a bird and a feline cross? Where does a feline and even a canine cross? They don't through evolution. Those are the other games.
I'm glad you bring that up, because
biological diversity, period, is not explained through that.
I'm glad you bring that up, because
there's never
that's where a lot of people
there, you know.
They kind of get confused with excuse me. They kind of get confused with evolution needing that millions of years to take place. And then you go back to the flood story. And then, you know, the whole thing is you're supposed to take 2 of every kind of animal on there, right? People are like, wait a second, there's 10,000 new species that are discovered every day. There's 30,000 species that are go extinct every day. There's millions of plants, there's millions of animals and mammals and marsupials and this and that. How could Noah possibly have a boat that big enough to fit every single animal and a pair of all those animals on one boat? Well, the answer is he didn't have to do all that. That genetic display of all those different fucking phenotypes basically are all what happened from the 2 different birds. You took a fucking toucan and a robin. They're both birds. Toucan and robins are gonna make bird babies, and all those bird babies are gonna fly around the world and become their own individual species. Same thing with a dolphin and a fucking manatee. A dolphin and a manatee are going to become a dolphin and a manatee babies, and they're going to swim around the ocean and become every other little species that they want to be. And because we know from growing seeds and growing a 10-pack of seeds, and we know like these aren't stable breeding genetics, this isn't a true breeding strain. There's 10 different there's one different phenotype in a 10-pack of seeds for every seed that I just sprouted. The reason is because evolution is trying to figure out a way of its best survival mechanism. And that's the best way of doing it. And it doesn't take millions of years, at least for cannabis. Maybe cannabis is some super highly evolved being and it knows how to evolve a million times faster than any other species. But I would think that we would be able to recognize time playing out before our eyes and seeing that it's a little bit faster than it, we're like, how could that be? How could there be billions of species of bacteria and elephants and praying mantises and all that kind of shit? That's just what happened in the last few thousand years. Is there's that much different expressions.
You could have left the mosquitoes off there. Just saying.
I left the damn. Well, Bill Gates doesn't want the damn mosquitoes around anyways.
You could have left them off. Just say it.
I think we're all on the same page. You get what I'm saying, right? You need a rhinoceros and a hippo. And then you got fucking elephants. You got everything in between.
Yeah.
Hey, didn't they find like the Noah's Ark up in like the Himalayan mountains or something like that?
Turkey.
In Armenia, Yerevan.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
It slid down. And there's dispute on it or whatever, but yeah, there's definitely evidence that would indicate that would be likely, as it's a boat that's way up in a mountain in a similar described area and made of similar wood.
That would be a major shift in this debate between science and religion.
It's a huge shift in it. There's other evidence for a flood as well. So,
do you guys?
Well, that's
know
what I'm saying. Every religion says that there's a flood.
Do you guys know who Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock? Any of those names? Anyone familiar with?
Negative.
Okay, so like I said, it was folklore and a lot of very downplayed, very easily to talk away from religious theory. A lot of science didn't want to adopt the theory of a flood up until I want to say my lifetime, where a lot of people started piecing this together that actually every single world's civilization actually has the same exact story of the flood. And in order to have physical, tangible proof, like saying where scientists need it, they need to believe it, see it to believe it. Where this Randall Carlson came into play, and he piggybacked off Grant Hancock's concept of his whole body of work is summed down to his phrase that he calls humanity is a species with amnesia, meaning we forgot our entire history. So his whole thing is he's about the Atlantean thing. He's about, Atlantis was this mass maritime civilization that was already on every continent and had different, cities and all that kind of stuff. And where Randall Carlson comes into play as he's the actual geologist, and he's gone to like Mississippi and here in Wisconsin and like South Dakota and like all the different places where they have glacier erosion in North America. And they basically got the scientific, whatever body of minds to believe what they call the Clovis comet, which was what they said that we talked about the Ice Age, shifted the Ice Age. Instead of having it go into the runaway snowball Earth, when we still had a little zone in between the temperates and the tropics, supposedly there was a comet impact that was somewhere around Greenland. And that broke apart all the glaciers in North America. And that's, what became the Mississippi River and all the Great Lakes and all that. So what they got science to believe is that is the great flood that all the ancient people talk about. It was that comet impact and those glaciers breaking apart. But what that spins into is that opens the door for science to take that whole Atlantean shit seriously. And if you follow more of Graham Hancock's work, he did more work with other geologists trying to, like I said, push back the date of the pyramids and the Sphinx being built instead of being built like at whatever 4,500 years ago or 2,500 BC. Supposedly, they want to put it to about 10,500 BC. There was another Egyptologist that said the very same thing, like the zodiac signs and all that were the same, but he pushes it back to a whole nother 25,000 years prior and says that the Sphinx was constructed 35,000 years ago. So I could keep going into further blibbity blobbity blue, but I don't even remember where the fucking original point that I started off with. But I've gone that far.
You're gonna walk us in a 10-minute story, and then you're gonna conclude with I don't know where I left off.
Well,
I got you. Chad West.
If someone was listening to that whole 10-minute story, they gotta at least kick me a little sideball there or something.
Hey, and Chad Westport says, so how many extinction events have we had?
Okay, so that's
there's a lot, right?
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to mean. Thank you, Chad Westport. You filled in the gap enough. Is science is taking the biblical account of the flood serious due to Randall Carlson and Graham Hancock. It would just be Graham Hancock saying a whole bunch of conspiracy bullshit if supposedly it wasn't for 32nd degree Freemason Randall Carlson to kind of steer the wheel. Oops, did I say he was a Freemason?
Were you not supposed to?
Well, that's the whole thing. It kind of gets suspicious. And when they do, I think maybe 5 or 6 different Joe Rogan experiences, and Randall Carlson just can't help himself. And he's like, I've co-opted this whole movement. Joe, I'm supposed to get you a part of this whole thing. That's what we're here for. They kind of do that thing where you want to go on the whole, they got to get away from karma, from doing bad things on earth, to get our consent. They got to show us exactly what they're doing or tell us the whole trick. So that's the thing, is they try to get that. They try to get people like Randall Carlson to hijack Graham Hancock's work and take it in there and be like, science totally agrees with this, when it's, I could go more into that too, but Graham Hancock also has a lot to do with ayahuasca and a whole bunch of other stuff, and we're just gonna go further down the damn wormhole with that. But the end of the game is we're all supposed to just do ayahuasca and listen to whatever the fucking plant gods say. Okay.
Well, it's 420, so cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Good call.
I just don't choose to create it.
I rolled up for it, and then I gave it to the wife, and she took off.
It happens that way, brother. It happens that way sometimes. It's my damn song playlist.
Why, thank you, honey.
I know it. I know it's gonna be a fucking YouTube commercial too. Commercials.
Like every couple hours, I'll hear the wife bebopping through the house doing that little tune. She doesn't sit here and listen in like I do. Like I don't get to hang out with you guys too much at night. But when I do my garden work, I listen to the show from the previous night. I'll come upstairs and do something, and she's all do 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 do.
Sorry, I didn't mean to like blast it like that. You know what that is cool? all you guys should think this is cool. You know, the local grocery store plays the show in the store every day. Huh? How cool is that?
That's cool.
They got a big old screen TV behind the counter at 50-inch that plays the show through the day. Huh?
That's cool. And I just wonder though how many people are like, what the fuck? What the fuck? It is kind of elevator music.
But it's almost like your little theme song coming into the ring kind of thing.
What a happy walkout song in wrestling.
Here comes
this guy. He's gonna hug me to the mat. He's gonna shotgun a fucking dab into my fucking lungs.
I'm sorry. I cannot take this as a walkout song there, sus. I could not take somebody serious that come out trying to tough guy me to this right here.
Maybe that boxer Don Flamenco, the guy from Punch Out. Maybe.
If anyone has any practicing mixed martial art fighters at their jiu-jitsu school, please get them to fucking walk out to the dab song.
You got to turn it up. You can't hear it, I
guess. They can't hear it. I think I got my mic turned off or my filter. That's what it is. But you can hear now or too loud. Them Zoom filters actually work really good about blocking out background noise if you set them. I'm surprised you guys can't hear the fucking wind tunnel fans in here, right? Always impressive. Might as well let it play. Huh?
Let it happen, baby.
Dollar Tree Productions.
She's over here dancing. I was getting ready to turn the camera. She's like, no.
Oh, that's good shit.
Got some creative people in the community, that's for sure.
Man. I totally agree.
All right.
You got a big one tomorrow? Big day tomorrow?
Hey, where's that tune from? The wife's wanting to know.
The dab song?
Which one? The last one?
Yeah, the dab song.
The dab song is actually T for Two is the original song. That version is from Warren Covington. It's actually the channel. If you want, I'll send you the link.
Yeah. Would you do that? You're gonna send me a link.
Absolutely. Oh. Send me a click.
Double dab.
What are you dabbing on? Have you changed the slabs lately there, Reco?
Got a little bit of the slab still left. I'll be picking up something in the next couple days here.
It's all shiny.
That's your smallest. That's the smallest object that I've seen you pull out to dab off of. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, this is the 1 or 2 day supply right here. I still got the distillate and I still got some flour left over too.
That looks more like Quizo.
Yeah, it's because I don't know how to show how thick it is there, but
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good.
yeah. There we go. Yeah, when it's spread out thin on the parchment, it looks nice, but when it's folded over 4 times like that is, then it tends to look darker. But like I said, it's nothing to be excited about anyways, so.
So it's not always something to be excited about. As long as you got something, you should be excited about it.
Yeah, it's just not very aesthetically pleasing or photogenic, you know.
Yeah, the damn song used to be The Offspring. 420, 420's got that right.
Now, do I mind a
I
thick
miss that
slab of
version.
shatter? I don't. That's stable enough, and I like it. I don't mind a thick slab of shatter, but it's. Is it the most best thing to dab on? I don't know. No, I'm excited. To me, it's medicine, so I'm just happy, you know, to have it. But I'm not being as spoiled as I would be back in Colorado, being able to dab on my favorite concentrates. So, or you can even
You
make that.
smoking out, Smile.
Colorado's beautiful. I used to live out in Colorado Springs, and I also lived in Pueblo West. I was stationed out there at Fort Carson.
Yep, lived in Colorado Springs 6 years.
What you got, Smiley?
Oh, I just finished the Skywalker, some of that one. And I had a blue lime pie in between there. So.
Now that's something I'd be excited about.
What, the blue lime?
Yeah, that's one of mine. I have the blue power seeds, like I've mentioned before, but I've had blue lime pie concentrate from my favorite concentrate company.
Yeah, dude, it makes killer concentrate sauce too. Super tasty. But yeah, it's been going good, man. In that easy week, so to speak, too, right now. So.
You're in the coast week?
Yeah, the coast week.
God, love the coast week. It goes by too fast.
It does. You bust everything out, man, and get it all done, and fucking then you can sit back like you're pinning them girls down, and I'll be able to fucking sit back and water them for a little bit, and they'll be fine. They're gonna do their thing for a few weeks.
Well, the two of them, the first two I pulled down, they're ready to go. I'm throwing them in the blower. That girl, as you can see behind me, she's obviously not full enough to throw in yet. She's gonna need a couple of days to kind of spring back up. So maybe a week. We can. Not gonna push it. Be a good carcass for I was asked the other day if I had started the re-reg project.
Yeah.
And I haven't. I want to actually use one of these pots right here for a re-veg. Multiple reasons for that is one, I think they've got some pretty decent soil in there that I can maybe continue to top dress, even if I didn't have room, because I've talked about taking it a few runs, you know what I mean, as far as I can to see if there's any variance and whatnot. But they're already picked up some in this pot. So I've left an airspace probably about 6 inches underneath, the bottom of the pot. So it's picked up in its pot about that far. So as time goes and I top dress, and run out of room in the top, I could actually drop her down another 6 inches or whatever. I should probably do that sooner. Or, bury it up just like I did these other girls. Yeah, bury her up, cut her back and bury her up.
Yeah. No, you do nice work. I always tease you about being so brutal with them, but they come out looking nice, so that's what matters, right?
They're so resilient, though. I think people baby them too much, to be honest with you. I think what I just did right there is probably more gentle than the topping, I think.
Yeah.
In a few hours, all that would be all turned up to where, if I were to top her real hard and went through top, it'd have been, 5 days before I would have seen, some new growth out of that girl, springing back and, bushy.
I only top when I'm cloning, really. Otherwise, it's like, I hate hacking them down like that. But I don't really tie them over because I don't have the space to be able to do that. So they're straight up in.
I used to take my clones from the bottom when I'm cleaning up the skirt there. I don't usually take tops that often. I grow them up and bend them over, and if they need anything from that point, I'd take my clones from underneath.
Yeah. Yeah, it works. I like the fresh top clone though, man. I don't know. They just come out with a lot of vigor, especially if you can get like the caliber size of the stem where you cut it. Some of the side branching will do that. It'll be a really great clone as well, as long as the caliber of that stem is big enough to support it. You know what I'm saying? Some of the side branches where they're just little, real little skinny stems going in where you can hardly poke them into the root riot or whatever. It's like some of those are the best when they'll root, but they're not gonna, I don't know, come out with the vigor like a nice top or one with a thicker, you know what I'm saying? People always had that argument whether to take one from the top or the bottom, and I don't think that's what matters. I think it's the size of the stem that you're taking, If it's like a pencil, that thing's gonna fucking rage when it gets roots.
When it gets roots, but it's gonna take a lot longer to root, in my opinion. Sometimes some thick girls take a lot longer to root.
Yeah, that's why I think
sometimes not at all. I've tried to when I've actually broke off tops, you know what I mean? Trying to bend them over like that. And then I'm like, oh fuck, snip. Try to take a clone out this girl like that. If they're, 3/8, oof, man, it's hard as fuck to get a root out of, something that's, 3/8 of an inch around if I stick it in there. Bigger than a pencil. She's usually pretty woody at that point. Anything that woody is super tough to clone, at least in the oxy cloner. Really have better root with something that sprays up at it, or I don't know. But I've never had very good luck in my oxy cloner with woody or thick stemmed clone.
Woody's the one that really matters there too, I think. You don't want them to be too woody. They got to be nice, fresh green stem. Even when they get that purple striping to them, that's almost like the first stage of it hardening off and getting all woody. I know when they're purple stemmed or striping to them where they're stressed like that, they're hard to fucking clone then too. It's hard to get roots out of those.
Okay, now you guys had a long day tomorrow. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead,
I was just getting ready to say I'm gonna have
Sus.
to get out of here.
Yeah, me too, man. It is that time.
So I sent you the link under Vets Grow, by the way, for some odd reason. That's where it's
That's all right.
Or it's
We'll
the
get it.
Vets Cup. The Vets Grow Cup is where that link is.
Okay. Hey, I got a little bit of news for that. I'll have to hit you up. Well, I don't have to hit you up. We've actually moved it a week closer, and it's at a different location. So just the weekend before, it's Friday. So that B&B will be on Friday the 13th. So the event will actually be 15th and 16th, or 14th and 15th. Yeah, there we go. 14th and 15th.
Nice. Yeah.
We're going to be at the fairground. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have the expo building, but I'm not 100% sure. I may get the bigger building. I'm not sure yet. I got to see which one I can get first. So
Sounds like it's going to be a good time.
absolutely. Well, thank you for having me on tonight, Eagle. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that now it's changed there. We should reapproach Mendo.
I already have. And I have already heard back. And I learned from last time. I'm not going to say anything until the paperwork's signed.
I've been there. I understand.
I've
that
been
shit.
there too.
Sometimes you curse yourself by throwing it out there.
R.I.P. Pink Seeds.
Have a good day,
yeah.
brother.
All right. Thank you guys very much.
Yep. Good seeing you.
I'll see if I can push that along. If I can help. I'm gonna be there. I want to meet him.
That's cool. Oh yeah, man. I might jump out too. I thought you had something you were trying to say, right? This was jumping out there though.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think you were asking me earlier if I had a long day today, which not really. It's gonna be fucking almost 80 degrees today. I got just like a tiny bit of things to tie up, just enough excuse to get the fuck out of the house.
So I'm thinking, man.
Then what happens for the rest of the day? Who knows? I'm out. On a bright sunny day.
Roll down the windows and cruise.
Oh yeah. There's a lot to be done on that side of the lake on beautiful sunny days.
I hope you get out and enjoy it, man. You too, Red Bill. Good to see you, bro. Always good going around.
You have a good day too, brother.
Yeah, man. Have a good one, chat.
Peace out. Okay. I'm out too then. Another great night in the wormhole. Thank you, Eagle.
Thanks for popping in, brother.
Yep.
Look
Cheers
forward
to
to
everyone.
talking to you tomorrow.
Of course. I might have to, there might be another hiatus coming up here to get the raised bed finally done. But yeah, I'll be here tomorrow. Just to give you a little heads up.
All right, brother.
You don't get worried about me.
You know, I'll just check in.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Eagle.
Take care, man.
And cheers, chat. Love you guys. Peace.
I can get my shout outs list. Was I missing a piece yesterday? I hope not. I hope I didn't miss a whole sheet of shout outs. That'd be fucking rude. That would be rude now, wouldn't it? It was kind of nice to see Pete from Operation Grow in chat. Been a couple of older but new names in chat. I guess is that the proper way to put that? Older but new names in chat. Either way, always great to see everybody in chat. Let's see what I can get away with tonight playing. Cheers. Let's see. I'm trying to find something good for us. Let's play a little Blueberry Jam. It's been a minute since we kicked out the blueberry jam. Yup.
Here we go.
Oh, hold on. How about I play it from the other speaker? Oh, can I play it from this one? Can you guys hear it? Hopefully you guys can hear that. Sub Cool, D's House of Tank, Mama Law 710, Scarecrow 420, Green Thumb Bum, Christina AMG 89 Unplugged 705, Medical McGullicuddy, Rick T, the Rebel, the 9207, Fabian Salinas, Dave's not here, Tom Spook, Greg Walker, Mendo Dope, T-Dog, Dunby, Red Eye Jedi, Groves, Mother Nature, Justin Conway, Duckweed, Run Boy 7426, Justin Good Earth, Strongman, Okie Grower 75, Corey Trevor, Michael Wallace, Mold Vision 420, Who's Your Cat Daddy, Taco, Don Slug, Rick S. In the Bushes 827, James Siemens, Kevin Hahn, World Class Hope, Pats Fan 420, Bio Martin, and Bio Minter, Dirt Road Dude, Kanashiva, Jose Ramirez, Red Eye Rustler, Dad Goblin, Dr. Buzz Lightyear, Acetone 710, Canuck, Canna Queen, Genetics, Savvy, Tanaze, from North Dirtman, Dan, Keith the Black Sales, Mr. Bosilis, Sin Premium Gardens, Rasta Bob, Rasta Jess, Soil Group, Small Twos, Tyler, Frosty Buds, North Michigan Micro, Ouija Buds, Dub T Roy, Big Jar Grows, JC, Modern Genetics, SoCal, Wig John, SoCal Weedner, that is John, last PPG 15, Green County Grower, CJ Apple Perfectly Imperfect, Dollar Tree Grower, T1 Productions, Dank Grower, DOA Grown Meds, Miss Nudie Grows, I Grew Some, Johnny Cannaseed, Nutrient Shootout, Sonny Nicky, Zoan Slammer, NNY, Pixel Monkey, St. Bernard's Observation Boat, Cover 420, High Spy, Aldridge 25, Miss Madam T, Subu, Mo Grower, the Canna Creighton, Loki Grows, Sus, This Guy, Burton 79, Polish Hamburg, Midwest Outlaws 31, Voodoo Ultras, Fresno Nerds, Kelly Connections, Wolverine Grove, Big Jar Grows, Jimmy One for Life, Late, Way Back Farmer, Jimmy, our D-Block, MMP, Nations Creations, Amelonic, Psychedelic Warlock, Artist LD, Sir Sticky, Rob, Big Day 420, Brent Wendell, Big Ed 1961, Matawana G3, The Green Click, J and K Triple G, Mr. Sprinkler, Brittany and Tyler Teasley, Hope Farms, Lisa G, John, B2 Crazy for You, BGWG 420, Dr. Bud 12, for Purple Thumb OG, Arthro, Spence Amelia, Arthro, Just Space 420, Beast Coast World 420, Sir How Trade Alone, Keep It Real, Hagerton 420, Sub Supplement Audit Everywhere, BTW, Gross, Bingus, Green Puffin Man, Alex Boy, Chef Life, School of Crop, Cause I Love It, Green Mountain Grower, Southwest Okie, Real 100, 212, Andy Man, Miranda Family Farms, Page Farms, Me All Flower, Ryan Henderson, Green 13, New Wild Winds, Kingdom Aquaponics, Indra, Michigan Native, Mary Jane's Med Garden, Streamer 77, Double D, Bad Buddy Nutrients, Smith's Green Pots, Smith's Green Nugs, from 619 to 664, Spaniard Kruger, Jones and Grove, Pop G Grows, Raz Amy, Dro Grows, Cass, the Grow From Your Heart podcast, Lily Luna, the Green Med Flock, Jeremiah Miranda, Stony Creek, Lost Art, Mr. No One, LG 420, Giant Mike, Prometheus Soil, Jason Iso, P. Win, David Colby, Mason 662, the Scroggy makes Scrogton 4th, Goddess Grows, Kaylee Burrows, I believe, but I always say just Kaylee. Chad and Brad Family Farms, Polly P. Bjorg, Eric Ferguson, Kevin Jodry, Mike Concho, Jay Huggins, UDA, Green Tree Hugger, Kush Cloud, Joshua Steensland, Own Organic Home Buds, Warren Nelson, Kane Wood, Maine Mystic, Show Love Always, Kelly Stone, Texas OG, Chuck Norris, Sarge S, Claire Fresno, Happy Guy. Oh, end of that one. Dan the Indoor Man, Gromies, Homies, Hamilton, Grows, Clip Smoke, Can of Stone, Clip. Let's try it third time. Can of Stone, no Canna. Keystone, Canna Flag, PA. Damn! Big High 710, Eugene Greenleaf, Ace Through Hustle, Fred Darn, Carlos, North Arizona, Beer Grow. No Cello, Jesse White, Gastain Yeti, Introvert Genetics, Soso J, Vixen Robin, No Killer 8 Mo, James Buttercream, G-Dub from NorCal, the Pharmacy Seed Bank, Dreadhead, Smokey 616, Curtis Mayhem, Matt Myron, Morte, Rick Heyman, Stephanie Dora, Tennessee, Fabricators K, Mike Rubel, so Drew Bear 420, Max 751, Lawrence Gonzalez, Slow to Get Up, Stu Moo, Popco 719, Baker Shake Baby, Old Smoke, PWC, Grown Buds, Lord Wash, Mr. Weed Blunt, Old School Grower, Chad Westport, Haunted Grown Flora Nugs, My Little Piece of Head, Punch It, Sound Seeds, Goliath Grow, Richard T, Chrissy Wannabe, Mr. Soul Food Spectrum, Gone God, Lori Hanson, Real 2,000 Years of Tradition, Mr. D. Connolly, Pimp Jam, Make Floating Face, Show Me Sasquatch, Fuck Google and You, I'm Going Well, Baby, Kid Indian Restore, Poor Dirt Farmer, Carl Wright, Zephyr, Humble Farm, Sanity Farm, Seldom Seen, Oak Park Gardens, Hale 9782, Sanoki Packs, Martial Artist 2012, Michael Slade Hefner, Danny McDizzle, Medically Fit, KGB, Robert Mr. Greenfingers, motherfucking Thomas, Rachel Post and Plenty, Monkey Balls, Andrew Chamberlain, Bobby Lynn Means, Trench Digger, Mr. Mac, Tony Baloney, Bill S., Sweet Peas, Tater Delicious, Minty, Country Roots, Cheer on Fire, Genetics, Earth Creeper, Big Ray 420, Teeny 101, Buds and Hazard, Mr. Club 14, Peter, V-Man, Farm 616, Null Up North, Max Screwman, Ruby, Timothy McKimmons, Neil, Justin B., Socratic 88, Fat Belly, Real, Jennifer Steele, Kinbus 03, Turf Farmer, Shannon, Stevens, Carlitos, Latino, Scotty Country, Mr. Speed, Wolfstein, Firesaw, Wooly Wookie, The Goddess Grows, Rasta Bob, White Feather Grows, Wally, Wookie will be here tomorrow. I can't wait for that. White Feather Grows, Burning Shrooms, Tone Grows, Zank, Caveman Grows, BX Gunner, Smith, Dude, Noob Grows, Sean McCann, JX, J Moots, Dink, Agenda, Wawa, Canna Grove, Valdog, Huron, Cannabis Council, Ulysses, Parish, Rock Fam, Justice Make, 420 Ben, Fresh Grove, Thriving Herbs, and an iPhone commercial. Come on. Thriving Herbs, Hi Boy, your mailman grows. We be growing Australian grows for love of the planet, Argo American, Spot Poker. Unfrozen Caveman, Hawaii's Highest Surfcraft, Micro Goon, Jeff Lowenfels, Mobius Grows Inc., Brownie Sandy, Elliot Harkins, Mystic Flavored, The Forging Gardener, Overwater Overkill, Seattle Steve, Shadow Warrior, Valley Green 514, Amelia Jensen, Odds Indica, Dr. MJ Coco, Brandon Russ, Matthew Gates, D's Bag, Drone Star, Shotgun Willie Dink, Yoda, Jay Simmons, Sure Bro, Grows, Clackamas, Scoot, DJ Conley, ATJ, Light 1978, Michigan Grown Buds, Your Boy, Roy Boy, Delta 9, Jay McDaniels, Clackamas 420, Sinky Cola, Still Inside for PFC Farms, Husky Garden, Sun Grown 707, J.A. Dro, J.A. 420, Cascadian Grows, T-Totes McGee, Four Plants, 8 Weed Works, Captain Scrog, Skunky Buds, House Warrior, Jackie Young, Terry Lee Live, Gassy Tempe, Annie N.D. Urge, Green Jr., Leon from All Purpose Plus, Green Goose, 11 Smiles, 11, Bindu Buds, Michael Rosser Grows, Dan the Indoor Man, Grow Me, Show Me, Scar, got that side, 311 Mix Up, Kindred Grows, Evergreen, G's Friends, Tree, MMJ, Bat, SA Ball, Dragonfly B, Justin Metz, Travis Walls, Lucky Mike, Seattle Chronic Seeds, King Chronic, Titan from Blessed Coast Seeds, Chiango, Gas, Wabasco for Life, John Smith, Tommy Trico, Smoke King Raz, Pop Little, Slow Roll, Pike, Spiky Pilots, Oscar Green Jr., Matt Steelberg, Into 11, Stephanie B, Sharp Pulley 989, Von Brown, Simon Garden, Stoner Nation 420, Joe Whitebugs 1313, Rower, Painted Lady, Frank Booth, Jay Myers, to Mid, to Chat, Mr. Manny D, Bagseed, DGC, Dr. DGC Jeff, that is Shredder 911, Dutch Grows 420, Scallywag, Skillbow 1, Metagrower 1, Empire, Breeding Co. for Growley, Lost Leaf, Liam Man, Sandy Danko, B Bear 7, Ali Noble, CK, Tom Trinidad, Looney Jester, Smoking with Small Town, Tipman S, Mr. Lazy, Raptor Grows, Rob, Automation is Freedom, Robert Hazelton, Door, Michigan Core, Double Tap Farms, Mr. Green Thumb 420, 808, Rooting Prospects, the Cannon Bus Drivers, Hate and Life, Kenny 710, Operation Grow, T-Ben, Rudenut 619, and the Hammered E-Nails. Thank you both. Dr. Scrambles, VB Moonrocks, GHF, WJ, Dial Green, Self Grower 56, Hanky Safety 420, OGKP, Ganja Nana, Your Mama, Georgia Joe, Warrior Rodriguez, Bee Growing, Nation Trust Nugs, Killer Bee Growing, Ganja Wizard, Husky Gardens, Nut Tree 420, Dr. Ooh, Soil Life 420, Bowley for Life, the Jeffro 420, Beavis 698, Dr. Franklin Booty. I got damn on Big Ted's Test. The Riffin' Fat Boy, Jack Greenstock, 420, 420, Boom Farms, Charlie Farms, 420, Aldridge, 25, Mr. Smiley's Garden, Shady's, Miss D's Nugs, Grove, Smoking Grove Frazier, Rokoski, Twisted Roots, Faded Farm, 420, Jeff Dorowski, Genetic Memory Farms, and Ball, 420, Cameron, Mr. Bagsy, Jill Carter, Mystic Marks, Mystic Grower, Ginger Snaps, DTE, Grows A, Rick Wolf, DLP, 2372, Ned Denver, Mike Denver, Sergeant Pepper, 420, Ken Trooper, Blanket, 420, Light Up Again, Tim, UKSIF, 420, Boot Boy, Devin Chipper, Medical, MJ, Budsville, USA, Resurrection Prophet, Chris Martinez, Dinkman Dan, Dinkman 420, Red Set of Farms, Good Life, Joni Bell, Teacher P, Most Hated Grower, the Major Jump 420, the American one, W Digger 714, Sarates, Kineos, Genetics, Mountain Skies, Ready Hit That, Hot Bob, Chris Merch, Ian, Save Robbie, Sergeant Live, Hepafay, Cam, Finger Lace, Fires, Rich Fade Spatch, Dozer Moon, Southern BT Grower, Choose Medical, Jared Blair, Plus One, Mushroom, Secret, Cindy, Pioneers, My Little 10, 2042 Spacewalker, Christian, Tree Mump, T. Barrington, Heart Soul, Homegrown, Mike B, T. Dwayne, East Coast Will, Huddy Day, Galactic Gardens, John Smith, Elliptics, My Natural Farms, Pacific Northwest Seeds, Ross Kyle, Lemon Hoko, Trench, Rita's Juicy Life, Richard 420, Grant Manual, Mary Bond, Sammy Sizzle, 81, 9 Inch Colas, Chris Moe, DK Trades, Vision Creator, Guru, The Kind Brew, Cannon Nation, JJDs. Bob Wobby, Sean Bins, Rescue Ready Roadside, Notorious Snugs, Magma Seeds, Father and Son Trimming Tutorials. Dub T Dank, Jose Martin Perez, Doggle the Hut 420, Moonbuck, Chiba Man, GR420, Community Videos, Detroit River Rat, Louis Garcia, Michael P, AJ Everyday, Captain Daughter, Chattanooga Bob 13, Main 420, Med Grower, Cookies Coop, Jay Hendricks, In for the Grill, Backwoods All Good, Sally Mansell, Adam Skankin, Chanel Simpsons, One Smoke Away, Ganja Rhodes, Kazoo, Aaron Burning, Shrooms, Mr. Lincoln Stinkin, Angel Studios, MG, the 420, Rotet, Paul Diella, John Fleming, Dankovich, Fiber Flower, Polly P, Seldom Seen, Elevated, Lenny, Organic, Sunman, Chiba Sunny, Jeff Pollock, Ricardo Sosa, Dan J, Earth Friendly Farming, Candy Forest Farming, fuck all that B. I'm going, the Misfit Grower, Jason Line 512, Snake Eyes, Northern 4466, Jason Grayso, Soner Baker MD. Hopefully you are going to snap out of that coma soon, brother. My heart and prayer goes out to you as well. All of yours. Rossonic, French Dweller, Tarzan Superman, Old Man Herbert Ash, Freebird, Mo Grower, Madagar, Simple Man, Survival Time, Tim Blake, Cough Coast, Chronic, Stink Fat, Cavalier Polero, Harley Grower, Jen God, Lation Line 512, again for the hell of it, Steve Connell, it's Ted Todd Kendricks, Jesus, Harvard Property Maintenance, Sharpie, The Lost, The Island, Haley's, Seattle, Scuba Steve Speaks, just get a drink, all right. J.R. Breen, Randy K, Farmer, Steve, Collins, TCDR, we miss you, brother, Claire Killian, Wardrobe Farmer, Randy Grande, Pip 1000, Ace Boom 3223, Wake Up, Captain Freedom B, Puffer Smiles, 15 digits. Oh, I know I'll get in trouble for that one too. 15 digits, Michigan Moose, Hash, Fred Cheese, Super Bob, Grosky 808, Weekend at Birdie's, K-Bag, Justin Station, Strong Style, Organic Zippy, iMedic 31, Honesty, K-Hal, Me All Flower, Brent Boog, Todd Kendricks, Newton, KNT, Chris D, True Serum, Bowtowns, Fo, Daddy Dread, Barbara Matthews, Ancient Soul Grown, Kevin Jiu-Jitsu, Canna Health and Happiness, Berserk 215 Collab, Low Cuts. Come on, YouTube, really? Low Cut, Amber Tremblay, Mo Manic, Meds, Raz Benchy, Helen, Huge Anus, James T, Atomic Spoon, Miss Jill, Big Daddy LT Gardens, Big High Flyer, 420, Lobster Brush Bowl, Mother Tree Maine, Red Pill, Yo Boy, Roy Boy, Aesthetic, Shannon Gimmons, Ruhan, Rick W, Comfortably Numb, One Smoke Away, The 840 Show, Richard Lamb, for Red Pill, 710 again, Cannabis Pursuit, K Rolling, Cree Rolling, Worthy Buzz, Logan Man 81, Oil and Flower Podcast, The Entourage Fetch, Warren Dixon, Pink Lady Luck, El Mondo 420, surrounded by Keith, Ferrari Farms, Fringe Dweller, Single Fathers, Happiness Without Guilt, Richard Forbes, Dan Pimenta, B4P Funk, Nick T, Richard Reach, What About Bob, Prince Patty, Daniel Bergman, Green Pufferman, Beat Dungley, James Chung, Sarge Gross 818, John Wayne, Carolina Rude, Sister Golden Hair, Deanna L. Dangarino, K and F Garden, Blank 1030, Choose One, Only Feet, Faded, Farmer James, Crypto Dope, Richard Lamb, HIP Grow, Matt LeJavine, Dan Marino, Chew Chronic, Wonders, Sunrise Grow, Top Floor, Genetics, Mo Vision, Can2 Cannabis, Jess Fisher, my dog Nelly, Rooster, Alex Hardy Gear, one and the same, Cropper, Daniel Grows Photos, Mitten Grown Med, Sunrise Grows, Lexi, Brittany, and Koo, my baby girls, No Limit 916, Grumpy Toad, Alchemistin, Canna Minx, Soil Born Addiction, Roz Joe, Alex D, Dirty Ore, Catfish, High Power, Thunder Dan, Propagation Station, John McDaniels, Lisa Marie, Sarge Grows 818, Blaze, Daily, Fried, Piper, Perpetual, Evil Proud Warrior, Sarah Smiles for You, Franco Sada, The Date, Duchess, Keno, Kelly, Maxwell, Captain 420, Stink Fat, What About Bob again? Ill Jester 420, Papa Shrooms, John Gorski, Dugan Gangsta, THC4, PTSD, T Barrington, Honcho, Grown, Swamp Cat, Because, Mr. Randy D, Canifari, 420, AB Normal, Franklin Guerrero, Barefeed, J Brent 74, CK Brown Guy 420, Pachyderm 420, Burning, Tree Main, EA Grayson Grow 207 Hydro Daily, Hemp with Jamie Reen, Supreme Grape, Stony Rockefeller, Caveman Cannabis, Brew City Synthetics. We're getting close, guys. Why Sustainable, Midnight Roots, Dead Cynics, Knuckles, Michael P, Polly, Be Quick, Be Nimble, Bud Kilowatts, Michael D, 4889, Disbanded Brothers, Macillium, Matt Joseph, Grace Medicine RX, Keef and Chief, Hydro Daily again, Concerned American, Cannabis 411, Freedom of Speech, Dr. Joints Worth, D's Trees, Ganja Sudoku. Hopefully I said that right. 710 is Oil Upside Down. Jesse Stevenson. I'm sorry, Jesse. Victoria, of course, you know who you are. What about Bob for the third time? What about Bob? What about Bob? Cheers to you, my friend. Last but not least, our good friend Beatus 207. Cheers to you, my brother. Just because you are last, you are always on my mind. Because you are not even on the list. How did I get muted? How did I get muted? When did that happen? Damn it. At least it was at the end. I don't know how it happened. But you guys, thank you very much for tuning in. I pretty much adjusted it. If this is the end of your day, please get some rest. If this is the beginning of your day, please have an amazing day. Moreover, please try to do something nice for somebody. We all need it at some point. If we're willing to admit it or not, it's so easy to do. Can I give you a hand? Little phone call, text. Are you okay, brother? Just wanted to say hi. Want to have a sesh? All that counts. Just think of somebody you love. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you tonight with Wally Wookie tonight at 11:30. I look forward to seeing you all tonight. Have a great